It's the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New York Jets.
A sunny but chilly afternoon at Giants Stadium. The game time temperature 28 degrees. The good news is very little wind to contend with this afternoon. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Meadowlands. Tom Hammond, along with Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath, ready to bring you the Jets and the Steelers. Pittsburgh still can make the playoffs. They need to win out and get some help. But facing a tough task today, Pittsburgh must overcome an emotional loss to Houston a week ago.
The most difficult loss they've had this season. They thought they were going to win that game. The weather elements were in their favor. The reason I think Pittsburgh couldn't win that game is their offensive line failed to get the job done down in close, and they had to settle for field goals. So today, the key for Pittsburgh is going to be that young defensive line of the Jets being blocked, hopefully by that Steeler offensive group.
Well, the Jets have played better of late. They've won 2 in a row, but Ken O'Brien is injured, and they'll go with the veteran Pat Ryan at quarterback.
Yes, and the Jets don't change a thing with their offense when they use Pat Ryan. He's been there 10 years. The problem with Pat Ryan is, though, he's been having an off season. Given the chances to play, he's not been hitting his receivers. He's going to need a lot of help from his offensive line, and they're going to run the ball, I would think, a lot to the Jets' offensive left side, trying to attack those light linebackers for the Steelers.
And a look at the coaches, Nolan Walton. Some similarities there. They've each heard calls for their dismissal the last couple of years, but each likes his young, developing team, and both the Steelers and Jets seem to be playing better of late. The Jets will kick off. Rod Woodson is deep for the Steelers, and there is Pat Leahy, who will kick it off for New York. And the game underway. Kick bounces about the 10. Woodson will let it bounce out of bounds. So Leahy's kick goes out of bounds, and the Steelers will take over.
We have a kickoff out of bounds. Receiving team's ball at the 35-yard line.
The voice of Johnny Greer, who is the referee of today's game. The Steelers will put it in play from their own 35. Here's a look at that starting Pittsburgh offensive unit, ranked 28th and last in the NFL. The offensive line led by Ilkin, who went to the Pro Bowl last year. The rookie Worley had the Steelers' first 100-yard rushing day against Houston last week. You see the 20 offense stock the third wideout, and Carter replaces Worley. That's Worley in motion. Bubby Brister hands to Merrill Hodge, and Hodge fights his way forward for about 4 yards to the 39-yard line, where he's tackled by the free safety, Eric McMillan. The New York defense is ranked 28th and last in the NFL. A very young front seven, averaging less than 3 years of NFL experience. Clifton is the leading tackler. The secondary has given up more touchdown passes than any other in the NFL, but not because of McMillan. He has 6 interceptions. In the Jets' dime, Knight, Glenn, and Booty come into the secondary. Second down for the Steelers. About 6 yards to go. Worley hit as he got the handoff and stopped for a loss of 2 by Ron Stallworth and Jeff Lageman. The Jets smelled that one out well on the handoff to the Steelers' leading ground gainer, the rookie Worley out of Georgia.
And this has turned into the strength of the Jets defense. Stallworth, a rookie. Lageman, a rookie. They have Barb Washington, a defensive lineman that comes in to rush the passer now, and Dennis Byrd. So these Jets are improving, especially with their young people, and I look for them to put some pressure on Bubby Brister in the pass situation.
Pittsburgh into its 20 offense now with Stock and Carter in the game, and the Jets respond with their dime defense. Brister in the shotgun. Hodge flagged down as Hodge makes a diving catch. Hodge is still running, but the referee has blown the ball dead. I don't know if anyone touched him or not, but a flag went down just as Hodge made the diving grab, and the Jets are indicating the penalty is offensive interference against the Steelers. Hodge must have pushed off, Joe. There's Bubby Brister, who has thrown 7 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions.
Offensive interference. 83. Still third down.
So the penalty was called on Lewis Lips for interference. There's Lips, who is not involved in the catching of the football, but called for interference.
Well, you watch Lewis Lips right here in the center of your screen. What he's going to do is go downfield and get in the way of number 42, John Booty, and that's how he's going to get called for the penalty. Now watch, 42 will come into play right there, Right there, you see him cutting in front of 42. Now, you can't bump your man like that. Just that, now, Booty wouldn't have been there anyway. Granted, Hodge would have been open for a good catch, but the official thought that was interference. I don't think it was. Bad call.
3rd and 18 now. Again, the 20 offense for Pittsburgh, the 9 for the Jets. Brister across the middle, and again a diving catch made by the Steelers. That time it's Stocks that comes up with the football. Mark Stocks, the rookie out of VMI, who made the catch at the 45-yard line, an 18-yard gain and close to a first down. They may have to measure. Mark Stock had only one reception before that catch. That's his second catch of the season. He was just activated from the developmental squad on November 3rd.
A rookie receiver learning his way, feeling his way in the NFL, and doing a good job. They're pretty pleased with Stock's efforts so far.
Ooh, look at that. Just enough by inches for the first down for Stock, who broke every VMI receiving record during his college year.
Well, we'll take a look at Stock trying to get, well, the protection for one thing is very good right now, once again for Brister, and he's got to like this. Heck, Bubby Brister's an accurate, strong passer, and you give him that much time, he's going to complete him.
Steelers with a first down at their own 45, opening drive of the football game. Brister, a man across the middle in traffic. Malarkey, the tight end, with a good catch. He's across midfield and into Jet territory to the 48-yard line, where he's hit by Benson and Clifton, the two inside backers. Gain of 7 to Malarkey.
Well, I'll tell you, that offensive line right now, the Steelers is doing one well of a job keeping the Jets away from Brister. Now, I'm not sure if the Jets are playing run every time, but whenever the Pittsburgh Steelers were in a pass situation, heck, Brister had all the time in the world to come to an open receiver. With that kind of protection, this Steeler offense is going to be hot, buddy.
2nd and 3 for Pittsburgh here. Worley and Hodge, the setbacks. That's Lips in motion. Merrill Hodge stopped short of the first down. He got a couple of yards. He'll be a yard short. Again, those two inside linebackers, Benson and Clifton, in on the tackle for the Jets. Clifton, the number 1 tackler on the team, at 122 coming in. Benson was second with 88.
Well, you know, these defenses are, for the most part, designed to free up the linebackers. They should be getting big numbers when it comes to tackles. Now, that's not to diminish from Clifton's efforts or Benson's efforts, because they're making the plays. But these defensive linemen try to keep the offensive blockers away from the linebackers so they can make the tackles.
3rd and 2, 4 wide receivers in on the formation. Brister in the shotgun. Hand off to Hodge, and he has a first down. There's a penalty marker on the field. Hodge inside the 45, tackled there by Gerald Nichols, but illegal procedure against the Steelers. Well, that's the second first down nullified by penalty in this drive.
Off start, 79 offense, still 3rd down.
John Reenstra, the left guard, guilty of the false start, the first-round draft choice out of Temple.
Well, Reenstra is going to be right here in the left guard position. Now, this man is such an athlete. I want to tell you, Seattle Seahawks considered drafting Reenstra as a fullback before they got John L. Williams, number 79. I didn't really see him move that early, though.
I didn't either. 3rd and 7, nevertheless. Stock in motion. Brister rolls and hits his man. Derek Hill, the rookie from Arizona, makes the catch along the sideline and takes it to the 35, where he's run out of bounds by James Hasty. Another clutch pass from Brister. Good to Hill for the first down. His 24th catch in his rookie year. It went for 17 yards.
Well, Brister reads the safety blitz. What happens here? 22, McMillan's going to come in here in a moment as a safety blitz right there in the middle of the screen, and Brister gets out of there, and Ouija Thompson, smart receiver. You give him a little time downfield, and even though he lacks some speed, he can lose the defenders.
First down give to Worley, trying to turn the corner. Good blocking. Cuts back to the 15. Still going to the 5. Touchdown. Tim Worley, coming off a 103-yard game against the Oilers last week, cuts back, 35-yard run for a touchdown.
Great blocking by that Pittsburgh offensive line out front. Worley getting a big hole, and then, he didn't look like he's going to run away from Hasty, number 40, but there's a lot of speed that this man has. Now, there's the kick by Gary Anderson, and it's good. He's 20 for 20 in point-after touchdowns this season. So in the first position, the Pittsburgh Steelers drive down the field to score. We'll be back to look at that touchdown run again in just a moment. Now, you don't always have to make a pretty block to have an efficient block. Mike Malarkey, the tight end right here, ends up taking 3 guys out on this play. Watch 84. Now watch how he goes down, and look at those white shirts. He just gets in their way, and then 74 Long is out in front to take out the last defender, and Worley's home free. He doesn't show a tremendous burst of speed here, but you know what? Number 40, Hayes, is a pretty fast guy, and he didn't catch him.
And here's Anderson with the kickoff after Worley's 35-yard touchdown run, taken by Townsell at the goal line. JoJo is hit, dives across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Dwight Stone made the tackle for the Steelers on special teams. 20-yard return for the New York Jets. Here's a look at their offense. Dan Alexander, the right guard, announced this week he will retire after this, his 13th year in the league. Johnny Hector rushed for 106 yards against San Diego, the first 100-yard performance by a Jet runner this season. Toon caught 7 passes last week. In the Jet Deuce offense, Werner enters the game as a second tight end. First possession of the game for Pat Ryan and the New York Jets. There's Werner in motion as Ryan pumps once and has Toon wide open. Toon hit hard, but has it at the 45-yard line. Thomas Everett delivered a blow, but Toon held on to the football, but he is still down on the turf. 25-yard gain, but it may have cost the Jets their leading receiver.
Toon took a tremendous hit once he gathers in the ball. He doesn't get a good handle on the ball initially and kind of bobbles it, but then he gets the control of it, and that's when he takes it. Watch, he'll bobble this ball just a bit, and he doesn't have enough time to protect himself, and Everett just laid a hard, clean hit on Toon.
There's Thomas Everett in his 3rd year out of Baylor, a 4th-round draft choice, who is the 2nd leading tackler on this Steeler team, and punished Toon on that one. Still tending to Toon. We'll take a break. Steelers lead 7-0. Toon just now being helped to his feet after taking that vicious hit from Thomas Everett. Let's watch it again, Joe.
Well, what sets this play up is Rod Woodson, the cornerback, tried to be aggressive, and Toon slipped around him. Now, it's a good, hard, clean hit. I mean, there weren't any elbows flying or any chop shots there, folks. That was just Thomas Everett laid a good shoulder lick on Toon, and Toon will be the first to tell you, had he caught that ball cleanly, maybe he wouldn't have had to pay quite the price for that game.
Well, his knee is a little wobbly as he comes to the sideline. Meanwhile, the Jets do have a first down. Somehow, Toon held on to the football. Steelers leading 7-0. 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Hector hit and dropped as soon as he got the football. Greg Lloyd, the outside linebacker on the right side for the Steelers, got great penetration and was all over Johnny Hector. Let's take a look at that Steeler defense now. Up front, the veteran Willis leads the team in sacks. He has 6.5, and Little is the top tackler. He also has 3 interceptions. The secondary has had an interception 5 of the last 6 games. Everett has 3 overall. See in the dime, Johnson and Hall come in for 6 defensive backs. Second down play for the New York Jets, 2nd and 13. Pat Ryan chased from the pocket, tries to unload it, and that ball was caught on the first hop by Johnny Hector, but evidently the officials didn't see it. Hector just stopped because he knew he had trapped the football, and no whistles blew. Then he had to try to run and lost yardage. Dwayne Woodruff took him down all the way back to the 35, and now they're saying incomplete pass. So that should be the correct call. Gerald Williams was putting the pressure on Ryan.
Well, the Jets are given an illusion of trying to run with 3 tight ends and then a screen pass, and Ryan just reacted poorly that time. Looked like he wanted to fake the screen and go downfield, but they had it covered downfield, the Steelers did. And what's Ryan? You see, now he should have gone. He should have went out there right now with the ball, and they'd have had a pretty good game. But Ryan was just late.
Pat Ryan hitting 54% of his passes coming into the game. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Hector with a big hole. Tripped up at the 45 and falls to the 49-yard line. Gerald Williams just managed to trip him up, as the fans don't like the running call on 3rd and long. And the Jets will come up about 8 yards short of the first down as Pat Ryan talks things over with Joe Walton. Ryan apparently not happy.
Well, anytime an offense runs the ball in a 3rd down and long yardage situation and they don't make it, the fans are not going to be happy. The announcers aren't going to be happy. The coaches aren't going to be happy. The only people that are going to be happy are the Steelers fans and the Steelers themselves.
Prokop's punt is down. Woodson just let it bounce, and it will be down at about the 19-yard line, the 33-yard punt. Meanwhile, Al Toon still getting those phone calls from area code 212 over in Manhattan somewhere. He's in New Jersey, but I'm not sure he knows it.
Well, you know, Toon's had a tough year with the injuries, the sprained shoulder in the boot squad, and two sprained ankles. So the Jets have been suffering offensively with the wide receiver corps, but Toon is still very special, one of the top guys in the league.
Meanwhile, Derek Hill, who was shaken up for the Steelers on their last possession, is back in the game on 1st down. Malarkey goes in motion, and Brister hands to Worley. Worley didn't get anything that time, might have lost a yard, perhaps made the line of scrimmage. Paul Fraze, the defensive end in his 2nd year out of Syracuse, making the tackle for the New York Jets. Check in some other scores now from around the NFL. Chicago on the board first at Detroit, or against Detroit, at home against Detroit. Houston with a 3-0 lead, and New Orleans up on Buffalo. There's a surprise, San Diego. Billy Joe Tolliver at the controls, leading Washington 7-0. 2nd and 11, or 10 and a half, I guess, if you want to be technical. Brister's pass too high for Lips, and it'll be incomplete. Lips had a lot of people around him. Lewis Lips has not had a reception the last 2 games. Now, granted, those were bad weather games, the monsoon in Miami and the snow in Pittsburgh. But the Steelers, in an effort to get him back into their offense, had designed a Lips package for this game. 3 pass routes specifically designed to go to Lewis Lips. 2 of them are option calls where Lips decides what kind of pattern he'll run in progress. And Bubby Brister said he was going to stay with Lips all the way on those.
No matter what, Coach Knowles says, hey, we want the ball in Lips' hands. We're not trying to keep it out of his hands.
Let's see if they go to him here on 3rd and 11. Brister intended for Stock, out of bounds, incomplete, and the Steelers will have to punt for the first time. Bubby Brister, who broke the Pittsburgh record with 15 straight completions earlier this season against the Lions. In fact, also this year had 179 straight passes without an interception.
Oh, he said that win last week, though, back in Pittsburgh, whenever they played the Oilers, was awesome. He threw 1 ball, and the wind blew it 10 yards off target. Townsell awaiting the punt by Newsom. Newsom 4th in the AFC, averaging 41.5 yards a kick. Townsell from the 40 squirts forward for 3 or 4 yards on the return before Stock makes the tackle. Officially a 7-yard return by JoJo Townsell. And the Jets with good field position on their 2nd possession. They'll have the ball at their own 46-yard line, trailing the Steelers 7-0. Ken O'Brien on the right. Normally the starting quarterback for the Jets suffered a jammed right shoulder against San Diego. So Pat Ryan, the 12-year veteran out of Tennessee, at the controls for New York today. Roger Vick with his first carry cuts up and is tackled at the 49-yard line. Jerry Osofsky, the rookie Steeler linebacker out of Pitt, made the shoestring tackle. There's Ken O'Brien, who has had his injury problems this year. He was a little miffed that in practice he wasn't told what his status was for the game. He threw a little on Wednesday, but none the rest of the week. And on the sideline watching today, although Joe Walton said if needed he could play. 2nd and 8 for Pat Ryan, who's directing the Jet offense.
Play-action pass. Ryan overshoots Roger Vick. Greg Lloyd putting the pressure on Pat Ryan. He released the ball too tall as Joe Walton sends the play in with Chris Burkett.
Number 95 right there gets by Johnny Hector and kind of forces Ryan to throw the ball a little bit off balance. Consequently, he overthrows Roger Vick. Good pressure by Lloyd. Not very big, only 222 pounds, but he has a way of shedding blockers. You know, a lot of teams say, well, we'll run right at these guys. They're light linebackers, Olszewski and Lloyd. But, hey, shedding the blockers and making the play, that's what Coach Noll likes.
Third down for the Jets. Ryan again flushed from the pocket. Flag down as Townsell can't hold on. The pass a little too tall. Rod Woodson was covering him. Pat Ryan may be injured. Well, we may see O'Brien after all. The preliminary indication is a hold against the Jets. And Ryan took a hit as he delivered the ball. Now Ken O'Brien putting the gear on after all.
Well, I tell you, I like Pat Ryan, but I think the offense is going to get a spark here. Ryan gets outside and he's going to take a pretty good lick right here. It's rather late from Lloyd.
That's a very late hit.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that was called or not.
Greg Lloyd did hit him late, and it was called. Also a holding. No, it was not called, and a holding penalty against the Jets was declined.
Well, you tell me if that's just one step and hit. I think he took two steps clearly and then got him. Granted, it's tough for a rusher to change his charge and miss the quarterback, and in the old days, that was just a good lick. I shouldn't say old days, Paul. I mean, just a few years ago, that was a good lick. But with the rule changes now to help protect the quarterback, Lloyd could have easily been called for taking two steps and hitting the quarterback late.
I thought it should have been called, and Joe Walton obviously also agrees. So Ken O'Brien, jam, shoulder, and all, set to come in on the next Jet possession. Meanwhile, Pat Ryan is still down.
Well, you take another look at it, and you'll see that Ryan's not expecting to hit. He gets caught right in the sternum area, and you'll see some kind of whiplash effect take place, and then the rest of him hits the ground cleanly. Boy, it's back. Yeah, that's a tough lick to take, boy.
Count the steps on Lloyd here. Ball released. 1, 2.
Well, it was a good lick, like I say, on Lloyd's behalf. It could have been called hitting late.
Well, Pat Ryan helped off the field. The Jets have already lost Al Toon. They'll have to punt when we come back. Giant Stadium, the Meadowlands, where the Jets on 4th and 8 will punt, trailing the Steelers 7-0. Prokop's first punt covered 33 yards.
Prokop's good, though, at dropping that ball inside the 20. He's leading the league, I believe, with 22 of them. So that's what the Jets want him to do. Just drop it inside the 20.
That's his first punt. Was his 22nd of the year. It does lead the NFL. Woodson calls for a fair catch. There's another one inside the 20. Woodson makes the fair catch at about the 15-yard line. Well, Pat Ryan injured on the Jets' last possession. The second Jet starter injured. There you see him on the cart being taken off the field. Already Al Toon has gone out with a probable concussion. His return questionable. And the status of Ryan looks in doubt as he heads for the locker room. Ken O'Brien will be under center the next time the Jets have the football, and he's playing with a jammed right shoulder. Steelers with a 7-0 lead, and the ball first down at their own 15. Brister will go to the air. And he goes long for Lips. Almost intercepted. Bobby Humphrey was covering Lips and then got some late help from Eric McMillan. There's Humphrey, and McMillan came over to help out. Bubby Brister saying he would be aware of McMillan, that he had to look him off or pump fake him today.
That's right. Now, Bobby Humphrey, the cornerback for the Jets, does a terrific job. I'll tell you, Lips slows up a step or two, and then the ball ends up going over their heads. I think that Lips just misjudged that ball. He'd have had a better chance of catching it had he kept running. That was a good pass by Bubby Brister.
There's a look at Humphrey, who is covering Lewis Lips. He's out to cover Lips again, set to the Steelers' right on 2nd and 10. Brister now 3 of 6 in the air. play, Hodge across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Alex Gordon trips him up at that point, and Hodge is just short of the first down. That's a 9-yard gain.
Good execution by that Steeler front. Expecting a pass, the Jets defense got caught with the classic draw play. Check the left side of the screen. You'll see a huge hole open up now as both the tackle and guard open up that gap for Hodge to get through. Now the Steelers only have a third and 1 or 2. Of course, remember last week, these are the situations the Steelers couldn't convert against the Oilers, and now they have a chance early in the game to show they can get off the ball, fire out, and block somebody.
And they have 3 tight ends, Wolfley, Malarkey, and O'Shea. Wolfley normally a guard. Worley hurdles tacklers and falls forward for the first down to the 27-yard line. Clifton and Radachowski able to tackle Worley, but not until he dived for first down yardage.
I'll tell you what, fullback is a tough position. These guys are asked to block, run, and catch. You watch Merle Hodge, number 33, stick his nose right in that offensive line and make the big block. Look at this. Now, that's just a collision, folks. Hodge kind of tucked his head a little bit. You want to keep that head, those eyes up and see who you're blocking, but fullback's got a tough gig out there.
Hodge in his 3rd year out of Idaho State in Pocatello said he's heard all the potato jokes there are. Play action pass, Brister in trouble, gets away and heaves it downfield as far as he can. Lifts, can't get it. It's almost intercepted by Humphrey. Humphrey with a little kick after he had that one in his hands. Boy, Brister aired it out about 60 yards in the air.
Well, Big John Jackson, the left tackle gets whipped. Here you see Lips just getting downfield, and of course there's going to be some help for Bobby Humphrey, number 48. The ball's hanging in the air. Now these guys are just trying to get under it, and Humphrey just drops the ball, goes right through his hand. But the big reason for this, right there, 96, Stallworth beats 65, John Jackson, and then Bubby has to throw the ball a long way, and it hangs up. They're lucky it wasn't intercepted.
2nd and 10 for the Steelers. Brister to Lips. On the slant, Lips makes the first down catch and takes it to the 49-yard line. That's his first reception in the last 3 games. His 41st catch of the season. It goes for 21 yards.
Bubby and Louie says, hey, we're going to keep trying this thing till it works. And this time it works. Lips just gets inside of Humphrey and makes a big gain. He nearly breaks this thing all the way, because had Humphrey not made that tackle, I think Lips would have had a good angle for the end zone.
Here's Bubby Brister, who missed 3 games with injury. 2 this year, I should say. 2 games with injury and 3 last year. Coach Chuck Noll said, though, he came back without missing a thing after those 2 lost games. Tim Worley goes to the 48-yard line in Jet territory. Let's go to Bob Costas for an update.
All right, Tom, remember last year all the controversy about the Bengals' hurry-up offense. Here they try and use it against Seattle. Winds up offsetting penalties. Illegal substitution for Cincinnati. Too many men on the field, 12 of them for Seattle. So the touchdown to Tim McGee doesn't count. And actually, they were stopped on 4th down, came up empty. But a bit later, Esiason threw 21 yards to McGee for a touchdown that did count. Bengals 7, Seahawks zip.
Cincinnati hoping for the playoffs in that tough AFC Central. And the Steelers, with this 7-0 lead, are hoping to win out and maybe have a chance in the playoffs. On the blitz, Eric McMillan, the free safety, takes Bubby Brister down at the 40-yard line, the first sack of the game. And some tempers flare down there. Boy, I tell you, McMillan came untouched right up the middle to get in Brister's face.
Well, no one blocked Eric McMillan. I mean, he just came right up the middle. Here's the safety, Eric McMillan, 22. He's just going to shoot through this gap, and these guys are going to block the other way. Watch McMillan. No one lays a hand on him come through there. Look at number 20, Stone, tried to take a little bit of something out of him, but it was a weak try, buddy. I'll tell you, Stone should have at least stepped in front of McMillan.
He sort of punched his ticket as he went by.
Whew.
3rd and long for the Steelers. Brister in the flat to Hodge at midfield and out of bounds short of the first down. Forced out by Bobby Humphrey, and the Steelers will have to punt. Big play in the series, the sack by Eric McMillan. 6-yard gain on that pass reception, not enough for Noel Steelers, and the punting team is on the field.
Well, you know, that's a sack, folks, that Ordinarily, when you read about it or hear about it, Steelers giving up sacks, you think of the offensive line. Now, that wasn't the offensive line's fault that time. Number 20, Stone, had a clean shot on Eric McMillan and didn't take it. So that sack certainly is an offensive back's responsibility.
Newsom's punt. Townsell will let it bounce. And it bounces into the end zone for the touchback. New York Jets will take over at their own 20 with Ken O'Brien at quarterback now for the first time. Here's an update on the scoring. Minnesota has gone on top. A Wade Wilson pass. Got the Vikings their touchdown. You heard about the Bengals game. New Orleans on the road at Buffalo with a 13-0 lead. San Diego 14-0 now over the Redskins.
And I'm surprised that Dallas-Philadelphia game doesn't have any bloodshed or points up on the board yet.
Newbert, Werner, Dressel, 3 tight ends in for the New York Jets. Minute 53 left in the first quarter, 7-0 Pittsburgh. Ken O'Brien takes his first snap and hands to Hector. Johnny Hector got a yard or two before Greg Lloyd pounded him to the turf with help from Tim Johnson. Well, the backup quarterback now is Tony Eason, who was picked up from New England earlier this year and has not played for the New York Jets. He's still studying over there on the sideline.
And he is still studying this Jet offense. He doesn't have a complete grasp of it. The number system's a little different. You have to call the plays, the motion. It's not an easy thing to pick up.
Like Al Toon, Pat Ryan has a possible concussion. He may be able to return. They don't know yet. O'Brien hands to Hector. Hector stopped at the line of scrimmage. Greg Lloyd with another tackle. Boy, Lloyd is having a game here in the first quarter. We're inside the final minute. He's already made 3 or 4 tackles.
Well,
71 coming in. Excuse me, Joe.
Lloyd was in good position, but he had a blocker on him, and Dan Alexander. And Alexander kind of ducked his head. The left guard's going to pull, and he'll duck his head, and Lloyd will just run right by him. You see that? And get in there to make the play. Now, I would think that the offensive back, Hector, should have been closer to Alexander's hip, and then maybe he would have gotten outside.
O'Brien in the shotgun. We may see his first pass. Burkett, Townsell, and Epps, 3 wide receivers in the game. And O'Brien will pass. Steps up and delivers a low pass. A diving catch made by Philip Epps, and it will be enough for the first down. Carnell Lake makes sure Epps doesn't get up and run, but Epps, with only his second reception of the year, a diving grab, good for a Jet first down, 11-yard gain.
Well, what I liked was the way O'Brien was able to get away from the rush of Gerald Williams that time.
And the first quarter will come to an end with a Jet first down pass. The Steelers leading 7-0. Well, Broadway Joe returns to the Big Apple. Nice coat, Joe. This was 1971. You weren't playing, and you were ready for the cold weather with that gear.
Well, I was trying to stay warm. That's why I had that fur on. I've never been one to go out and hunt, and I don't wear my furs today because I don't want to promote that kind of thing. But I tell you, that coat sure did help me keep warm.
Hey, I think we found the coat. I see it. Do you remember giving that to a young lady? I just saw one in the stands there.
The only thing I know about that lady is her hair was shorter than mine.
Roger Vick on the receiving end of that pass. David Little makes the tackle for the Steelers. And on first down, the Jets pick up 5 or 6 yards.
Well, I'll tell you, with O'Brien coming into the game now, I think this is a lift for the Jets because he is their best quarterback. Hey, there's old X12.
Yeah. I like that better than the fur coat. And the fans did, too. They wanted to see you on the field. You missed the 71 season, right?
Well, I had a knee injury. I hurt it in the first exhibition game that season, and I couldn't play. I missed playing against the Steelers a couple of times because of injury.
A.B. Brown on his first carry gets good yardage. A first down to the Steeler 45. Carnell Lake runs him out of bounds. A pair of rookies matched up there. A.B. Brown, the rookie from West Virginia, on his 10th carry of the season, picks up a first down as he gets the corner.
Well, A.B. Brown had a good exhibition season. He had high numbers. He just gets a huge hole again upside. Number 84, Dressel, kind of walls off the linebacker, number 50, inside there, and it's just a tremendous hole for him. David Little couldn't get out to make the play. Credit Dressel, the tight end with the Jets, a good block.
First down, New York at the 44 of Pittsburgh. Ken O'Brien has Townsell for another first down. That one just short of the 30-yard line. Wayne Woodruff, the veteran cornerback, stopping Townsell. But O'Brien has been on target so far.
His arm doesn't appear to be bothering him and talking with him. He said he could throw all right, but it did hurt him some. First downs the Steelers are controlling, but the Jets, to me, have controlled this field position as of late. Of course, Pittsburgh with Worley's big breakaway run, that's the most important thing right now, folks. The most important statistic, 7-0 Steelers.
Worley with a 35-yard touchdown run, the only score in the game. Brown is the only setback for the Jets here on first down, and he gets the handoff, trying to pick his way forward and met and dropped by several of those Steelers, led by David Little. A.B. Brown, rookie from West Virginia, was the #1 rusher and #2 receiver for the Jets in preseason.
Little got some help from his defensive friends that time. Tim Johnson was in there penetrating, and that took down the blocking that time, and Jones made the play, also helped out. I shouldn't say Aaron Jones made the play completely by himself. It's a team effort, and that was good team defense for the Steelers.
In fact, it was a loss of 1 at 2nd and 11. Brown on the pitch. Gets a block. Can't get outside. Carnell Lake came up to wrestle him to the turf. Also in on the play, Brian Hinkle, the outside linebacker who was pursuing. And they walled off A.B. Brown for very little gain.
Watch number 60, right guard Dan Alexander pull right across. Now he's going to hit Lake, but Lake's going to play him off. Look at that. I mean, here's a strong safety playing off that big guard. And actually, A.B. Brown, you know, you tell running backs you should have cut here, he zigged there. Had he taken the inside, he might have gained some yardage that time, because Alexander certainly blocked Lake to the outside.
Lake was a linebacker last year at UCLA. He does have strength. O'Brien completes the pass to Hector. He's bumped out short of the first down by Carnell Lake. There's Lake, number 37, 6'1", 205 pounds. All-American linebacker for the Bruins of UCLA last year, and a second-round draft choice for the Steelers.
Yeah, I remember his father Eugene down in Midland, Pennsylvania. Good basketball player. Hey, you know what? If O'Brien gets this ball on target, Hector has a chance for the first down, but he throws it behind him. So Hector has to slow down, get his body all turned around out of whack, and that's when Lake can make the play.
Leahy is on to try a field goal. It'll be about 47 yards. Ryan, the normal holder, is hurt, so Prokop is the holder, and that kick will be no good. So from 47 yards, which would be his longest of the season, Pat Leahy misses the field goal, and the Jets fail to get on the board. 11-13 left in the first half, and the Steelers still in front. Well, they may have won 2 in a row, but as soon as that field goal was missed, the Joe Must Go signs came out. Joe Walton has had a tough season. He told us earlier this week that he hasn't read a local newspaper in 7 weeks or listened to any of the radio call-in shows. He just focuses on the next game. Steelers with a first down at their own 30-yard line. They lead 7-0. Tim Worley, blockers in front. Terry Long tries to get him a block, and instead, George Radachowski gets penetration to take Worley down for no gain on the play, maybe a half yard. Well, a reminder that we will be selecting a Budweiser Most Valuable Player in today's game. That comes up at the conclusion of the contest.
You know, Joe Walton, I asked him yesterday, since the game's going back to his hometown, Beaver Falls in the Pittsburgh area, if he wanted to say anything to anybody. He said, yeah, my cousin Louis the Chili's worrying so much about my job, it's making him sick. Tell him to stop worrying.
Well, like you, Joe Walton from Beaver Falls grew up as a Steeler fan. In fact, his dad, Tiger Walton, was an assistant coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brister's pass complete. Lewis Lips came back to the football, was able to make the reception despite double coverage. George Humphrey was closest to him. He goes for 20 yards and a Steeler first down.
Well, the Steelers have figured that with Lewis Lips, they've got to keep giving it a chance. Try and get that ball in his area. Excellent pass protection up front for Brister. And there you see Lips has the defenders beaten by 1 or 2 steps. Bobby Humphrey gets there late, but That was a good pattern by Litz.
First down for the Steelers. Brister tried to change the play, and instead, Tunch-Ilkin just jumped offside and really put a pretty good block on the opposing Jet player. That surprised everybody.
It surprised Ilkin, there's no doubt. When you see that happen, you might think that the next sound would have been the snap count, but no one else on the offense moved, so Ilkin is the only one that had the play mixed up. He's the right side of the offensive line. You can barely see him right now, but he's going to shoot out across the line and make contact. He's the only one to move, folks, so I don't think the other 10 guys are wrong.
Brister was trying to change the play. First and 15. Brister steps up. Almost intercepted. James Hasty cut in front of Derek Hill. He had a clear sail to the goal line, but couldn't hold the football.
Well, Hasty was beaten, actually, early on, but Brister being forced out of the pocket by Paul Fraze. I think Fraze, 91, gets in there around his feet. Now, Brister, if he can put a little more on this ball, but it's so hard running to your left for a right-hander to get a lot of strength in that throw, a lot of heat on the ball that it hung up, and Hasty nearly made a good play.
Should have had the interception, had it right in his hands.
Well, that's two they've dropped so far.
And that's been something they've done a lot. The secondary of the Jets has dropped a lot of potential interceptions this season. Bubby Brister now 6 of 11. Hands off to Worley this time. Hit and dropped to the 45-yard line by Jeff Lageman. Rookie linebacker out of Virginia, the first-round draft choice of the New York Jets and the 4th leading tackler on this squad.
Oh, they like Lageman, number 56 right here. He just comes hard on the inside. Louis Lips looked like he should have gotten in front of him a little bit. But the Jets have been asking Lageman to play from a three-point stance, the down linebacker position, the up linebacker position, and they really like this young man. They say he's going to be around a long time, and he is an impact player already.
All-American at Virginia and the 5th all-time leading tackler for the Cavaliers. Got his degree in economics from UVA. This is 3rd down and 13 for the Steelers. Brister to Lips with a diving catch short of the first down at midfield. It was Hodge with the catch about the Steeler 49-yard line. Bobby Humphrey made sure that Hodge didn't get any further yardage, and the Steelers come on with their punting unit.
Well, the reason Brister had to go to Hodge that time, the Jets ran their safety, Kerry Glenn, in there after Brister, and he couldn't wait any longer. He had to take the short guy. The deeper receivers were coming open, but the pressure by the Jets forced Brister to take the short pass.
Townsell awaits the punt from Newsom. Good, high, spiraling punt, and Townsell will let him go. Bounces back away from the goal line and is down at the 5-yard line. It was Stowe on coverage for the Steelers that downed the ball at about the 6. It'll go in the books as a 45-yard Newsom punt inside the Jet 20. Good punt by Newsom as the Steelers lead 7-0. Al Toon is leaving the field with a possible concussion suffered early in the first quarter of the game. Already 2 Jets, Pat Ryan, the starting quarterback, and Al Toon have left the game with concussion. Jets backed up to their own 5-yard line. Ken O'Brien is 4 for 4 since coming in the game and is still perfect as he hits Philip Epps. Second catch for Epps, and it goes for a Jet first down to the 20-yard line. 18-yard gain, and O'Brien, despite the jammed shoulder on his throwing arm, looks sharp.
Well, here's the way it looks for a quarterback when he makes the fake and goes back to pass. Now he's going to look downfield, and you see all those bodies crossing his vision. It's good to be tall. And now he throws after the break, a little bit afterwards, and Epps runs away from Woodruff for a good catch.
Epps replacing Toon and O'Brien replacing Ryan. Hector curls across the middle and gets some tough yardage to the 28-yard line. Here's a look at the other games. Kansas City, Steve DeBerg pass to Jonathan Hayes gets them on top against the hot Packers. Atlanta and Minnesota are tied. Detroit leading Chicago. 10-0 the Bengals. Jim Breach with a field goal, 24 yards. Houston 13-3 over the Bucks. Randall Cunningham with a touchdown pass, getting the Eagles on top of the Dallas Cowboys. 2nd and 4 here. Hector. Another nice run by Johnny Hector to the 35-yard line. Greg Lloyd stops him, but Hector has the first down. Well, of course, the AFC is a scramble for the playoffs, especially for that wild card berth. The playoffs were today. Here are the teams that would be in it. Denver's already clinched the divisional championship. Buffalo trailing at the moment, though. Houston on top in the AFC Central. Cleveland and the Raiders would be the wild card. There's that wild card chase. You notice the Pittsburgh Steelers, despite a 6-7 record, are still in it. And a loss today would not necessarily eliminate them, but their best chance for the playoffs would be to win their remaining 3 games, and they still need some help, some losses from other contenders. O'Brien floats it to Vick. Roger Vick out of bounds at the 41-yard line, hit there by Carnell Lake, a 6-yard gain, and O'Brien still has not missed a pass.
No, and what the Jets are trying to do is take advantage of Carnell Lake. He's just a rookie, so they're trying to play action, fake him a little bit, freeze him, and he's the man responsible for covering Vick out of the backfield. The Jets offensively are trying to put Lake in an awkward position, make him make decisions, make choices, and it's frustrating for Lake, any rookie defensive back.
And, of course, he was a linebacker in college, so doubly learning a new position, although the Steeler coaches are very high in their praise of Carnell Lake. Johnny Hector, another tough run. The yardage has been difficult for Hector today, but he's still grinding it out. That one was enough for the first down as the Jets keep their drive going. David Little made the tackle. Greg Lloyd got an assist. Well, here are some of the headlines from today's NFL Live show. Bobby Beathard predicted that Bo Jackson will decide to only play baseball after this season. Cleveland's Bernie Kosar told Merlin Olsen that he can't straighten his sore throwing arm, and Jerry Glanville, the Oilers coach, told NBC's Gail Gardner that he never feels secure in his job despite having the Oilers in first place in the AFC Central. Jeff Criswell jumps offside, illegal procedure against the New York Jets.
Start, 61 offense. First down.
They'll set them back 5 yards and make it 1st and 15.
Well, Criswell's the left guard right here, and he's going to jump as the defensive player does come across the line.
Woo, what a hole that was. Roger Vick for a first down to the Steeler 40-yard line. Dwayne Woodruff and Larry Griffin had to chase him down, but Vick burst through a huge hole in the line and rambled for 19 yards.
Tremendous blocking up front, opening a huge gap in the Steeler defensive line. Now, the Jets the last 2 weeks have beaten, well, a good defense in San Diego. They rushed for 181 yards against the Chargers, and then they beat Atlanta earlier, but I didn't think they'd be able to run the ball like this, get those huge holes against the Steeler defense.
At 180 yards total against San Diego most of the year for the Jets. O'Brien hits the tight end, Keith Newbert. Newbert coughs up the football. Woodruff hit him hard, and the Steelers have it. Well, the Jets had their best drive going all the way from their own 5-yard line, but Larry Griffin was the man that came up with the football after Woodruff jarred it loose from Newbert.
Well, what happens when the secondary of the Steelers is playing a zone defense? You see a defender waiting on him. Woodruff is just waiting on Newbert to come into that zone, and that's how he's able to jar the ball loose. Had that been man-to-man coverage, Woodruff wouldn't even have been around there.
Well, the Jets had driven all the way from their 5 deep into Steeler territory. Then they turn it over. Steelers on first down with a pass to Worley for a gain of 2 or 3 yards. Kyle Clifton right with Worley. A rare reception for Worley, who played at Georgia, where they didn't throw the ball much. That's his 14th catch.
Now look at Newbert. This is the fumble. He gets 1 foot down, then the other foot before Woodruff hit him. The big concern here with the fans in the Meadowland was that he have both feet on the ground. You check this angle. There's his left leg, and then his right one gets down. He has possession. That's just a good, hard hit by Woodruff to jar that ball loose.
The Steelers secondary really knocking bodies all around Giant Stadium today. That one jarred the ball loose, and the opportunistic Steeler defense recovers the fumble. Here's a reverse to Lips. Lewis Lips to midfield and picked up there by Kyle Clifton and James Hasty. 21 yards to Lips on the reverse.
Well, I'll tell you, a reverse works whenever a team is chasing. We have the right side of the Jets right here. They're all going to go this direction, chasing the ball action, and then Lips is going to come from over here for the big gainer. Watch, now you see Loggeman chasing 56, going the wrong way, and there goes Lips. Now, the Jets have no one out here to stop the game.
Pittsburgh first down from midfield. Two wide receivers set to the left, Hill and Lips. The give to Hodge. Merrill Hodge for 2 or 3 yards into Jet territory. 3-yard gain. Troy Benson makes the tackle. Approaching the 2-minute warning here for the first half. And the clock will stop at 2 minutes before we get another play off. 2-minute warning from the Meadowlands with the Steelers leading the Jets 7-0.
2 minutes.
Tom Hammond and Joe Namath from the Meadowlands. The Steelers leading 7-0 with 2 minutes to play in the first half. Tommy Roy, our producer. J.D. Henson, our director. The New York Jets turning the ball over after they had their best drive of the day going, and the Steelers trying to get some points now before halftime. 2nd and 8 for Pittsburgh. Hill is in motion. Brister gets away from one man and hits Hill. Hill out of bounds with first down yardage. Alex Gordon, the linebacker, forced Hill out of bounds. Not until he had the Brister pass for another first down. Derek Hill went to the sideline and talked to the coaches upstairs before that play, and Brister found him. Hope to stay with us at halftime. Bob Costas and O.J. Simpson with all the scores and highlights. They'll be joined by some of NBC's analysts and the insiders. They predict which teams will make it to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. There's the NFL Live crew coming your way at halftime. Steelers with a first down at the 37 of the Jets. Pittsburgh leading 7-0. Tim Worley in motion. Brister sacked at the 45-yard line by Dennis Byrd. He's the leading sack man on this Jet squad. That's his 6th of the season. He had 2.5 last week against San Diego and gets a big one here. Timeout called by the Steelers with 1:49 left in the half.
If ever a name stood for flat-out performance and excitement, it's Bonneville. This place and this car. Fast, powerful, and true to its name. Bonneville from Pontiac.
Watch right here. Tunch Ilkin, the right offensive tackle, and Dennis Byrd compete, and you won't see this happen often. Ilkin gives up his 6.5 sack in the last, Tom, 5 years, 4 years?
That's right. Over the last 4 years, that is only 6.5 sacks he has given up. He looked like Ilkin on that one. Brister's pass incomplete. Penalty marker down. Rodney Carter, the intended receiver, with a couple of Jets running stride for stride. And there is a flag on the play. Looks like illegal procedure against Bubby Brister's Steelers.
Well, you'd think this would be a penalty Jets would want to decline because it would put the Steelers in a 3rd down and long situation if they do decline it.
83 offense. Let's be quiet. 3rd down.
Lips with the illegal motion, and you're right, Joe, they do decline the penalty.
30-18.
Well, the key for Joe Walton's team now is to force the Steelers to throw the short pass, drop their linebackers back and their defenses back, make the Steelers throw the short pass for the completion. Don't let them get in field goal position.
Brister will line up in the shotgun. Of course, that's a new formation for the Steelers this year. Prior to this season, they never used the shotgun. Brister airs it out for the end zone. Hill, and intercepted in the end zone by James Hasty. Hasty of the Jets picks it off. That's his 5th interception of the season and the 10th of his career. And the Jets will take over at their own 20 as Brister just threw it as far as he could.
Well, that's the problem here. You see, the Jets are not going to give up the long ball. They're laying back on this thing. And the Steelers should be trying to complete about a 12, 15-yarder to get in field goal position. But Litz has confidence in his receivers, and he figures at worst Hill is going to break this up. But he'll just miss it, and Hasty said, hey, an early Christmas present. Thank you very much.
Well, Brister likes to be the mad bomber, as he showed us there, and perhaps he would have been better advised to go for something short and try a field goal. In any event, the Jets have it with a first down at the 20-yard line with 1:37 left in the half. O'Brien still has not thrown an incompletion. That one is another completion to Newbert, the tight end, who takes it to the 25-26, a 6-yard gain. David Little tackles him without further damage. Clock running down now to 1:21. O'Brien with another short completion to the tight end. This one is Werner. He has a first down, stops the clock out of bounds at the 39-yard line. There's a look at Hasty, who had the interception, and the Jets with some short completions. That one for 13 yards, pecking away now and moving the ball just short of their own 39 with 1:10 left in the first half.
Joe Walton, being an old tight end, and his offensive coordinator there, Richie Kotite, standing beside him. They like to use their tight ends in this offense, and the Jets have really missed Mickey Schuller, their all-pro tight end, because he's so smart running those pass patterns and catching. Now, these rookie tight ends, Newbert, he's doing a good job, but they just don't have the experience yet.
O'Brien, play action, goes downfield. Townsell almost came around to make the catch. There was some bumping going with Woodruff all the way down the sideline, but no flags. And O'Brien misses for the first time. He's now 9 of 10 in a relief role for Pat Ryan.
Well, there's a real dogfight going on downfield here with Townsell and Woodruff. You see them bumping one another, and Townsell actually gets both hands on the ball and should have made the catch. But Woodruff was right there step for step.
Leahy hoping he'll get a chance to try a field goal before halftime. He missed a 47-yarder earlier. 1:03 left in the half. 7-0 Steelers. O'Brien's second down pass. A little too tall for Phillip Epps. It'll fall incomplete. Woodson and Griffin were covering Epps, and he stretched out to get his hands on it, but couldn't hold on.
Yeah, Epps stretches out all 5'9" on the top left side of your screen. 5'9" is just not quite enough to get all of those hands on the football that time. But, boy, you've got to give Epps an A+ for effort here because he's going after it. Pretty good pass protection, too, for O'Brien, especially since the Steelers know he has to pass.
With Al Toon out and Wesley Walker on injured reserve, the receiving corps a little thin. O'Brien got away from one man. There's a penalty marker down. Then the pass is complete to Burkett. Chris Burkett, if they give him forward progress, had the first down. But there is a penalty marker down, and it might have been grabbing O'Brien's face mask.
Yes, I'm sure it is, and O'Brien would be wise to save that timeout right now because the clock is going to stop the timeout. Or the clock's going to stop because of the penalty. I don't think he made the first down either, Tom. It appeared to me where he went out of bounds was just short of the first down.
Face mask. 97 defense is declined. First down.
Well, it did get the first down because they declined this penalty.
Aaron Jones gets his right hand caught on Ken O'Brien's face mask, but if we can see the finish of this play, I'm wondering if the receiver actually caught the ball past the yard stripe. I think that the Jets got a big break that time in getting this first down.
It was just enough for the first down, and so with 45 seconds left, the Jets with the ball just short of midfield. O'Brien fumbled the snap and then trips and falls at his own 45-yard line. And a timeout is called, stopping the clock at 42 seconds.
When you have a snap on a quick count, you got to make sure your hands are up there. I don't know why they misfired on these counts right here. Sweeney, the center, and Brian haven't been having problems. But that's one that pops up every now and then. Yeah, what are you going to do, Joe? It's frustrating.
Well, Pittsburgh has called the timeout. And I'm not sure why, Joe.
Well, there's a guy laying on the field for one reason. I bet he's the main reason right now. That's Keith Willis down there, and I didn't see exactly what happened to him.
It is a charged timeout against the Steelers, as Chuck Noll is being told on the sideline. Here's our ticker. Kansas City still leading at Green Bay. Minnesota has taken the lead on Atlanta now. That was a DJ Dozier pass to Anthony Carter. Cincinnati still blanking Seattle. Houston leading by 10. New Orleans continuing to lead at Buffalo. 14-0 scores there in favor of San Diego and the Eagles. Second down and 13 now for the Jets. 42 ticks of the clock left in the first half. 7-0 Pittsburgh. O'Brien in the flat to Hector, who bobbles it and then drops it incomplete. Probably just as well, because about 5 Steelers were bearing down on him.
Yeah, but you know, Hector makes a classic mistake when you tell youngsters to look the ball in. You're teaching high school guys and junior high guys how to catch a pass. You want to look it in your hands all the way. Here, Hector turns his head slightly, just turns his head slightly to look for Carnell Lake, and by taking his eyes off the ball, he never really gets a good handle on it. That's a mistake that the youngsters should learn early on. Keep your eyes on the ball all the way in.
Hector did not that time, and so it is 3rd and 14. 7-0 Pittsburgh, 37 seconds and a half. There's another flag down, and the play is stopped. Illegal procedure against the Jets.
Boy, this is getting sloppy. A lot of mistakes for Joe Walton's teams out there. They're stopping themselves.
61 offense. 3rd down.
Second false start against Jeff Criswell. Criswell is the 3-year veteran free agent out of Graceland College in Iowa, the same college that Bruce Jenner went to. O'Brien. Catch is made at the 46 of the Steelers by Townsell. 14-yard gain and short of the first down. And on 4th down, the fans want Joe Walton to go for it. Let's see if he does.
Oh, he's going to go for it. There's 26 seconds left, and he's got to believe that even if they don't make it, Joe Walton figures his defense can stop them. That's Bobby Hammond on Joe Walton's right, the running back coach, and he's shuffling the plays back and forth with his running backs and receivers.
Now the official calls a timeout. I think there was a problem with the play clock. At least that was the way they were pointing. Now perhaps they're going to review that last play to see if he had both feet in bounds as he made the catch, Townsell, along the sideline.
Well, if he's going to come down in bounds without being hit, that's fine, and that's what happens here. He's going to come down in bounds. Now he's getting pushed out, so the official's got to give him that catch. He even had his right foot not touch the ground there. By being pushed out of bounds by the defender, the official will give him the catch.
So the play is being reviewed. Al Sabato is the replay official today.
After further review, the play stands. 4th down. With the 45-second clock operated, please reset the clock to 14 seconds.
Not that it really makes a difference now. I mean, the Jets are up at the line. Let's go. I mean, 12 or 14 on the play clock. Who cares right now?
Leahy hoping that he'll get a chance to kick a field goal before intermission. He's been keeping warm on the sideline.
You believe how long it takes to reset a clock in this day and age? All the push buttons and electronic things we're doing, and we can't even set the clock without taking a 2-minute delay here.
This is going to be fourth and about 5 yards to go for the Jets. And 26 seconds left in the half. The Jets still have 2 timeouts remaining.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jets try one of those quick trap plays up the middle or a running play, try to get the first down or keep the clock running for Pittsburgh not to have much time.
It will be a pass, however. O'Brien in the flat to Vick. Roger Vick stopped short of the first down at the 45-yard line. The rookie Carnell Lake took him out of bounds, and the Steelers will take over at their own 45, 21 seconds left.
Well, Walton had the right play on, I think. I mean, Vick, one-on-one with the safety, you'd think that he'd be able to break that tackle, but Carnell Lake had an excellent angle on him and made the good play. Coach Walton talking to Sweeney, and I don't know why. I don't think anything went wrong with Jim Sweeney and his pass protection inside. Pass protection appears to be pretty good, but right now Lake's going to come over with a good angle and just make the play.
And the Steelers are going to try to get some points in the final 20 seconds. Brister completes the pass to Carter. Rodney Carter tried to backtrack to get more yardage and is spun down at the Jets' 47-yard line, an 8-yard gain, and the clock stops with 9 seconds left. Timeout Steelers.
And the Steelers still have another tie. You know, last week the timeouts kind of got mixed up over there in Pittsburgh, didn't they?
Controversial play as the Oilers got an extra timeout. Also a call on a reception that was apparently out of bounds, enabling the Oilers to defeat the Steelers in the last seconds of play.
And I'll tell you another play. Warren Moon fumbled the ball. He got flipped, and they said the ground caused the fumble. Well, if you look at those replays, folks, you'll see that that ball's coming loose in Warren Moon's arm before he hits the ground last week. So the Pittsburgh Steelers had a few plays go against them against the Oilers.
Bubby Brister said that Houston game last week was going to be tougher to overcome emotionally than was the 51-0 blowout by the Browns to open the season.
Well, they really felt they had a chance, the Steelers did, especially with the bad weather and all. Their kind of weather. They thought they could handle Houston and felt like they gave it a pretty good shot, but it just wasn't in the cards.
9 seconds left in the first half. Steelers with the ball leading 7-0. Brister rolls, and he'll heave up the Hail Mary pass. Knocked to the turf and incomplete. It looked like John Booty was the man that got a hand on it and a shoulder pad on it to knock the ball to the turf, and it will fall incomplete as the first half comes to an end. Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers scored on their first possession, a 35-yard run by the rookie running back Tim Worley. The Jets had a couple of decent drives but made mistakes that kept them from getting any points, and the two teams will go into the locker room the way the game began. It's 7-0 Pittsburgh at the end of the first half at the Meadowlands. Now stay tuned for NFL Live. Steelers leading the Jets 7-0 at halftime. Now let's go to Bob Costas at NFL Live.
Okay, we welcome those of you watching the games from RFK and the Meadowlands. Bob Costas back with O.J. Simpson and Juice. Kansas City has been your team for 5 or 6 weeks now, talking about a spoilers rule. They're putting it on the Packers.
Well, I felt 5 weeks ago that if they can win all their games, and I felt they were certainly capable of doing it. They've been going against first-place teams week in and week out. You saw Thanksgiving. They started with that overtime tie with Cleveland. That this could be the team to beat if they can get to the playoffs. They're one of the few teams in the AFC that if they get to the playoffs, that I give a good chance of beating Denver in Denver. They've done it over the last few years, and obviously to make it to the Super Bowl, I think you're going to have to get a win in Denver.
All right, talking about the Super Bowl, coming up in the second segment of the halftime show, several of our NBC analysts, plus the Juice and the Insiders will be here with their top selections. Each will pick a dark horse and an AFC and NFC projected champion to meet in the Super Bowl. That's after the next commercial break. But first, quickly through the scores. Kansas City leading at Green Bay 21-3. There are only seconds left before halftime. Here's how the Chiefs got their last touchdown. It comes, as you see, with 11 seconds to play in the half. Out of the shotgun to Bird, who earlier had hit Jonathan Hayes for a score. hits Emil Harry for the touchdown with just 7 seconds remaining. Christian Okoye went over for 3 yards out for the other one. It's 21-3, and they've now gone to the half. The other games, Minnesota is leading over Atlanta 20-10. Herschel Walker with an injured toe, dislocated on his left foot, does not start. DJ Dozier does, throws an option pass of 19 yards for a touchdown to Anthony Carter, and the Falcons are down by 10. Detroit, which has won 3 of their last 4, leading at Chicago. Barry Sanders, an 18-yard touchdown run, 10 carries for 75 yards to this point. 17-10 the score at Soldier Field late in the second quarter. Cincinnati over Seattle 10-7, but the key play is a Seahawk touchdown. It's a record setter. Don Hutson's record had stood for 44 years until this one. David Craig to Steve Largent, the 100th touchdown reception of his career. Hudson, the Alabama product who played for the Green Bay Packers, caught 99 in a career that ended in 1945. So a record that stood for almost half a century falls to Steve Largent today, just a few weekends away from his final game in the National Football League. Houston bearing down on the playoffs, leading at home over Tampa Bay 20-3. Warren Moon has thrown touchdown passes to Curtis Duncan and Drew Hill. In the game some of you are watching, Pittsburgh with the halftime lead over the Jets. The score there is 7-0. New Orleans playing at Buffalo, and the Juice predicted that Buffalo might have some trouble. They're trailing at home 16-12. John Fourcade starting in place of an ineffective Bobby Hebert. He throws 2 first-quarter touchdown passes. San Diego with Billy Joe Tolliver connecting for touchdowns in the first quarter, a pair of them, one to Anthony Miller, another to Wayne Walker, leading 14-7 over the Redskins halftime at RFK. And Philadelphia trying to wrap things up in the NFC East. They can't do it this week, but they can move closer with 2 touchdown passes, one by Randall Cunningham of 4 yards to Chris Carter, then Matt Cavanaugh off a fake field goal, a 13-yarder, again to Carter, leading Dallas 14-3. They're just a few seconds away from halftime at the vet. Back with a round-robin discussion on Super Bowl possibilities when we continue, following these messages from your local station. Stay with us.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, still hopeful of a playoff berth, have a 7-0 lead on the New York Giants halftime at the Meadowlands. It was a half that started with a touchdown on the Steelers' first possession. The Jets drove the ball occasionally, but were their own worst enemy.
Yes, they were. They hurt themselves with the penalties and the turnovers. Steelers have been playing better ball than the Jets have. I know the Jets have won 2 straight, but that was over Atlanta and San Diego. And I like the Steelers' chances coming into today. Brister's been getting pretty good time. I think we're going to see the Steelers put some more points on the board the second half.
Let's take a look now at our Coors halftime summary as we check out the stats from the first half of play. The Jets with an edge in first downs and the total yardage in favor of New York. As you see, though, the time of possession was the Steelers' advantage.
Once again, Tom, that only stat that matters is the scoreboard. You know, it's 7-0 Pittsburgh. The Jets lost Toon early in the game, and there's Pat Ryan, the quarterback. I mean, there were 2 vicious, hard, clean shots by the Steelers that knocked Ryan out of the game and knocked Toon out of the game. Just good, clean, hard shots.
Pittsburgh Steelers kick it off. It's taken by Bobby Humphrey. Humphrey to the 20, tries to pick his way forward and gets a couple of more yards before he's swamped by the black-shirted Steelers special team defenders, with Tyrone Stowe leading the way, a 19-yard return. Well, Pat Ryan started quarterback for the Jets today, but suffered a possible concussion when he took that hit from Greg Lloyd. That was in the first quarter after Al Toon had already left the game. Toon made a reception, somehow managed to hold on to the ball when he took this shot from Thomas Everett.
Yeah, but if he doesn't bobble the ball there, I think he's ready for that shot and he doesn't get hurt.
So Ken O'Brien now at quarterback for the Jets, and he's done a good job. He has moved the team, although they have no points to show for it. Here he has one downfield complete to Epps. Philip Epps, who is called on to replace Al Toon, has been a productive receiver for O'Brien. That's a first down catch to the 45 where Rod Woodson makes the tackle.
Well, Philip Epps just goes downfield and then breaks across the middle. He beats Woodson to the inside, and O'Brien gets the good protection and puts the ball right there. Now watch, he'll break inside away from Woodson, and the ball's just right on target there. Nothing Woodson could do about that.
22-yard gain. Epps in his 8th year out of TCU. Signed as a free agent after he was released by the Packers. Spent 7 years with Green Bay. Roger Vick. Not much there. A yard to the 45. David Little tough against the run that time.
You know, he ended up fighting his way forward for good 4 yards, Tom. This guy's in the middle of the line, created kind of a pile in there, and Vic was able to cut back and make 4 close to 5 yards.
You're right. He did get 4 or 5. I thought he was going to be stopped there for very short gain, and he turned it into something decent.
Well, it looked ugly, but it turned into something decent.
There's Ken O'Brien, who is playing with a jammed right shoulder. Swings it to Vic. Vic lowers his head, takes 4 collisions, and comes up about a yard short of the first down. Olsovsky and Little were there, converging on Roger Vic after he caught that swing pass out of the backfield, and a little tougher running with it than he was on that catch right at the end of the first half.
On the right side, O'Brien looks downfield and goes to Vic early, and that's what enables Vic to at least get 4 yards here and close to the first down. O'Brien getting that ball out to him quickly. Now, Olsovsky got over there and made the play and is really playing well for the Steelers in linebacker position, but at 216 pounds, boy, you've got to see how he endures the fourth quarter.
Dave Cadigan is in at a tight end with Newbert and Dressel, 3 of them. On the short yardage play, Hector spins his way forward for a first down. Greg Lloyd tripped him up, but Johnny Hector gets a first down run for the New York Jets on their first possession of the second half.
Well, you need to keep your head up when you're going to tackle somebody. That time, Lake had a good shot. And who do we have down on the field? There's an injured player. But Lake, watch Cornell Lake, number 37, duck his head right there and miss the tackle, you see.
The injured player is Greg Lloyd. He's being tended to. Meanwhile, Joe Walton's team driving in the second half. Tom Hammond and Joe Namath at the Meadowlands. 12:25 left in the third quarter. Jets with a pitch to Johnny Hector. Knocked out of bounds by Dwayne Woodruff after a short gain on the play.
Hey, there's Marty Lyons, defensive tackle end for the Jets, who's going to have his knee cleaned out. Not going to play any more this season. They're going to miss him in the running game. But you know what Lyons is doing now with this injury? He's giving these young guys in that front line some extra experience. You see 11 years for Marty up there, and he was playing well before his knee got hurt. But these other guys now are getting some valuable experience.
You add up the NFL experience of all the others, and it equaled Lyons 11. Play action pass. Ken O'Brien for the corner of the end zone. Ruled no catch by Chris Burkett. Rod Woodson was covering Burkett downfield. He made a diving, rolling catch, but never had possession before he went out of bounds.
Boy, I'll tell you, O'Brien's arm doesn't look like it's hurting him. I mean, he puts the ball in a good spot. If Burkett could keep his feet rather than diving, rather than falling off balance there, then he stays in bounds. But Burkett made a great catch and a great effort. It just ran out of room. They ran off the football field. Just not enough room that time for Burkett. Good pass, good catch. Tough luck, Joe.
Here's a 3rd and 8 for Walton's Jets. Ken O'Brien has hit 14 of 18. Let's see if that's a catch to Townsell. They rule yes. A reception to the 25-yard line and a Jet first down. The Steelers were waving it off. No. The official said yes. And it is a Jet first down. Delton Hall was covering Townsell, who made a diving catch for 15 yards.
Joe Townsell's having the best year of any Jet. I mean, he's running back, punts and kicks. Here he turns inside. Now look how he gets his hands underneath that ball. The ball bounces off his chest back into his arm. Never hits the turf, at least not from that angle. And I think Townsell's probably the prime candidate for Jet MVP this season, having an excellent season. You really can't tell if the ball hit the ground or his arm there, so it's going to have to come back inconclusive, Tom, and they're going to have to go with the catch. I don't see the ball touching the ground at all here. Now, you're going to have to guess if that ball touches the ground once it's underneath him, and I don't think they can do that. I don't think they'll overrule this, and it'll stand as a complete pass.
The replay official, Al Sabato, is having a look at it. And I think you're right, Joe. The ball may have touched the ground as it went under him, but you certainly can't tell.
After further review, the play stands. First down.
It will stand as a Jet first down at the Steeler 25-yard line. First possession of the second half. New York driving, hoping to tie the game. They trail 7-0. Ken O'Brien has hit 15 of 19, 153 yards. Vick tries to bounce outside and is taken down for a loss by the rookie Carnell Lake, who's having a big game.
Carnell Lake, more speed for a strong safety than you'll find on the average. Used to play linebacker. All you folks know that. On the right side of the screen, Lake will stay at home, number 37. And when Vick comes back, here comes Lake right now in position to make the play. He had some friends coming out there, too. David Little was going to get out there and help out. What an excellent safety Carnell Lake is.
A running back and a linebacker in high school, an All-American linebacker at UCLA, and an excellent rookie safety. O'Brien's pass is complete. Close to the 10-yard line to Epps, who beat Woodruff on the play. And here's O'Brien trying to help break up a fight.
O'Brien showing his poise, showing his cool, trying to keep his offensive tackle, Jeff Criswell, calm. O'Brien knows it's not going to help anything to lose your head out there, especially one of his offensive linemen.
18-yard strike from O'Brien to Epps.
And the strike it is. Epps will break out, and that ball's right there on target. Once again, Woodruff in the area, but there's no way he could have knocked that pass down. O'Brien's arm looks terrific.
Vick, nothing there but black shirts. Lost back to the 15-yard line as the Jets' running game has suddenly gone south. Woodson and Johnson came up to cut off Roger Vick. Here's an update on the scores. Kansas City still cooling off the Packers. Steve DeBerg with 2 touchdown passes there. Cincinnati's lead is still 3. Buffalo narrowing the gap on the Saints a bit. O'Brien looks one way, looks the other, finally fires it incomplete. Off the pads of Epps, who had Woodson coming up to deliver a blow just as the ball got there.
Oh, but O'Brien hung in there, made the play, and actually Epps, I think, is supposed to catch this pass. O'Brien's wandering around trying to find someone open, and Epps just breaks back to him, loses Woodson just a moment, and then doesn't hold on to the ball. I guess you could say good play, Rod Woodson, or bad catch or try by Epps. That was a good try. He just didn't come up with it.
So it's 3rd and 13 now for New York. Steelers leading 7-0. 9:56 third quarter. That's Epps in motion. Pitch. Hector. All the way back to the 24-yard line. Keith Willis penetrated, knocked Hector down, and the Jets absolutely cannot run the football, and the fans voicing their displeasure on the 3rd and 13 running play.
Well, you can't blame them. I mean, 3rd and 13, and they're trying to run the ball, being down 7 points. Joe Walton doesn't do all the play calling over there. It's by committee, and so a few of the people thought this would be a good play, and boy, Willis just gets out in front of the pulling guard and wrecks the play.
Here's a 41-yard field goal attempt by Leahy. It's blocked. A lateral by the Steelers. Gerald Williams down the sideline, and he's going to take it for the touchdown. Will they allow it or not? It'll be the Steelers' ball, but no TD. Well, it was an exciting play. Gerald Williams is still celebrating. He hasn't gotten the news yet.
Well, it appeared to be Woodson who got in there to make the block that time, and there's Woodson. He does so many things for these Steelers. Such a valuable player in that secondary. And Walton just shaking his head. You know, what can go wrong goes wrong for these Jets. Woodson on the top left side of your screen right there, number 26. Boy, he gets around Loggeman, the rookie linebacker, and stretches his body out there and gets a piece of it. And gets all of it, knocked it right down. Now we'll see where the ball's down. See, he's down on contact right there. Prokop, number 6, was able to make contact with Brian Hinkle, 53, and the ball was blown dead right there on the spot.
So the Steelers have it. This is their first possession of the second half. 9:08 left. They have a first down at their own 33. not much. Troy Benson gets credit for that tackle. There's Leahy, who had that field goal blocked and earlier missed a 47-yarder. Rod Woodson tell his agent, can we renegotiate? We just got that blocked, and here's what else I've done.
Oh, boy. For 4 fumbles, recovers 3. Look at this. And that doesn't count the passes that he's broken up, folks.
Bubby Brister, under center, is 10 of 18. Lets that one go to Worley. He makes the catch and is immediately hit by Eric McMillan. There's a penalty marker down. It'll be against the Jets. The Jets have rolled up yardage but have no points. And Joe Walton in his 7th season, will there be an 8th?
I think there will be. I think Joe Walton's done a pretty good job. When you stop to consider all the things that a head coach is confronted with, Joe Walton is doing
Illegal contact. Defense. First down.
a pretty good job Joe Walton's doing of rebuilding this team. They just started it 3 years ago, and last year was a bit of a smokescreen. They finished strong, but Walton has this. The reason I like Walton is their strategy. It's good strategy offensively, and of course defensively with the new coordinator. They're still working on it, but I think Walton will be back.
Saw the graphic. Ed Fibershoff with that graphic is being the head coach of the Jets has not been a very lucrative job as far as a winning record. Merrill Hodge takes that completion, immediately hit by Troy Benson. And speaking of Jets coaches, nobody has a winning record. Who has the best winning percentage?
Well, I'd guess at Walton. I'm not sure, but I'd just be guessing Joe Walton. And I do believe he has this team heading in the right direction. They had a lot of injuries early in the season. They've lost their receiving core with Al Toon and Wesley Walker and Mickey Schuler. The Jets have had a tough road to hoe, and it's not Walton's fault.
Well, you saw the answer. Slinging Sammy Baugh coached the New York Titans to a 500 record. Hodge is tripped up short of the first down. Kyle Clifton with a shoestring tackle for the New York Jets.
Hey, wait a minute. Now, when we saw that graphic, it said, which Jets coach has the best winning percentage? And then we come around and say, Slinging Sammy Baugh, the Titans. The Titans weren't the Jets.
Well, we saw that jet flashing there. That was a hint. You were supposed to pick up on that.
That's what it was.
We got you on a technicality. 3rd and 6 here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bubby Brister lines up in the shotgun, double wides to either side. Across the middle, too high and incomplete. Off the hands of Stock, the intended receiver. And Booty was covering for the Jets. So the Jet defense holds after the blocked field goal. And the Steelers will be forced to punt.
Well, Booty might have been covering, but he was a long way from Stock that time. There was a great coach, Weave Eubank. Still going strong. About 83 years old now, and he makes some of the games the Jets have down in Cincinnati and over there at Cleveland. He still gets around during the football season.
Had a pretty good quarterback, too, for him, old number 12. Raymond Berry was telling us last week, you know, Weave didn't have to worry about quarterback controversies. He had Namath with the Jets and Unitas with the Colts.
Yeah, he went shopping in Western Pennsylvania is what he did.
Newsom's punt. Bell holds on somehow. He made the catch at the 15 and then was pounded by Stone. A 37-yard kick, and Stone really delivered a blow on JoJo Townsell. New York Jets backed up deep in their own territory. They trail 7-0.
Earlier, we saw one of Harry Newsom's punts bounce inside the 10 and stay there. Here, Townsell does a remarkable job of concentrating on the ball when he absorbs that hit from number 20, Dwight Stone. But Townsell does a great job holding on to the ball and giving the Jets better field position than they may have had he let the ball hit the turf.
Jets with the first down play, the handoff to Vick. Roger Vick, 4 or 5 yards to the 20, stopped there by Greg Lloyd. Here was Joe Walton's reaction as Townsell took that tough hit, got 0 yards on the return.
Oh, that was good coverage. A good punt, first of all, by Harry Newsom, hanging the ball up so high. And again, Townsell did a wonderful job of holding on to the ball. and giving the Jets better field position than they would have had he allowed it to hit the ground.
Steelers have been hitting exceptionally hard today. Second down for New York. O'Brien with time, then throws it incomplete, wide of the intended receiver, Chris Gressel. Well, Chuck Noll said his Steelers had to play with abandon. Their playoff hopes diminished by the loss to the Oilers last week, but you still compete, you still try to win, and they certainly have hit hard today. They need to win out to have a good shot at the playoffs, and they haven't won 3 straight since 1985. They play New England at Three Rivers, and then on the road against Tampa Bay, the last game of the season. They're leading here against the Jets 7-0 with 5:47 left in the third quarter. O'Brien completes the pass to A.D. Brown. Brown keeps inbounds. Or did he? Well, they'll mark him out around the 20-yard line for a gain of only a yard. Gerald Williams forced him out, and the Jets will have to punt.
Good defense by the Steelers. You got to wonder why the Jets are throwing that little 4 or 5 yard completion when they need more yardage. The receiver, A.B. Brown, 29, just sneaks out right there in the backfield. Now turn up field somehow, A.B. Keeps going laterally. Of course, Rod Woodson, 26, forced him that way, so that was a good defensive play.
Prokop's punt is short and then takes a jet bounce. Woodson lets it go, and it'll be down at about the 34-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Steelers will take over. 5:29 left. They're up 7-0 as Joe Green talks to his troops. Joe Namath, the Steelers leading the Jets 7-0. 5:29 left in the third quarter. The New York Jets have moved the football today, but have been blanked on the scoreboard. First down for Pittsburgh at their own 34-yard line. That's Lips in motion. Brister rolling out, hits it across the middle, intended for Malarkey, the tight end, and some misconnection there. We had people going in every which direction. I don't know what the play was supposed to be, but it didn't work.
Well, one guy was going in the right direction, and that was Loggeman, the linebacker for the Jets. He got in front of Bubby Brister, and Bubby had to unload the ball. You watch number 56 on the right side of your screen. He gets inside of Lips, plays off the block of DeMonte Dawson, and gets right into Bubby's face, and Bubby can't really see downfield when he lets that ball go, I don't think.
Loggeman, one of the young players the Jets have pinning their future hopes on. Is he going to be one that helps turn this franchise around?
I think he is definitely one of them. So are those defensive linemen they have, Washington and Bird, stalwart.
Speaking of rookies, there's Tim Worley of the Steelers with a first down run to midfield. John Booty stopped him after a 16-yard gain. Worley off a 100-yard performance against the Oilers, the only 100-yard rushing day by a Steeler this season.
Well, you give him a crack. He's quick enough to get through a crack. My God, that looks like a canyon right there. You give him a hole, and he's going to get through it. He has the speed and strength. He's still not where the Steelers want him. I mean, they expected Worley to come in and get 1,200, 1,500 yards, but missing all of that training camp really set him behind.
The ball astride the midfield stripe. First down, Pittsburgh. Worley again. Might be the same play. Nothing there this time. About a yard. Troy Benson stacked it up. There's an update on the scores. Craig with a touchdown pass to Blades, 60 yards, giving the Seahawks a 17-10 lead on the Bengals. Buffalo has tied New Orleans. Philadelphia continues in front, and San Diego with a 1-point lead. 7-0 Pittsburgh here at the Meadowlands. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Brister's pass complete to Hill at the 40-yard line. Close to the first down. He made the catch for 9 yards with Hasty all over him.
Well, Hasty could be all over Hill. The guy that's going to take this play away, the inside guys, the linebackers. Hasty can't stop that little quick post unless he's lined up inside that wide receiver. That time, receiver just got inside of Hasty from the goal, and Loggeman on the right side, 56. No one is back there in that area. You see that huge hole there. I mean, gosh, they could have thrown the ball to the running back, and he'd have had a good game, too.
Wolfley is in for Pittsburgh as a third tight end, joining Malarkey and O'Shea on 3rd and 1. That's Hodge with a first down inside the Jet 35-yard line. Kyle Clifton wraps him up there, but Merrill Hodge with a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You know, Tom, yesterday you asked Hodge if he had a special thing about scoring touchdowns. He's had about 5, I guess, the last 2 games, and he said he did. He says, you know, when we get down there, 30-yard line on in, he says, I just feel like I'm going to score. I can smell the goal line. Something kicks in, an extra adrenaline or whatever, and I do give it just a little bit more. And he likes to get the ball in his hands in a going-in situation.
He's given them a first down at the 33 of New York. Brister still has it. Slides down at the 31-yard line. He got a couple of yards. Scott Mercereau, the nose tackle for the Jets, chased him down.
Now, for all you young quarterbacks, this is a perfect example. When a quarterback isn't sure that he's going to make that handoff or can reach that running back, you keep it and run it yourself. That's what happened this time. Bubby Brister just doesn't make the handoff, so he tucks the ball and keeps it himself. Worley's as surprised as anyone, peels back and helps, but that was supposed to be a handoff to Worley.
What can cause a quarterback to be late with the ball with a handoff?
Well, the
like
angle, you know, the quarterback can get away from center a little late. The running back can go a little bit wide, just 6 inches or so. Quarterback has to be sure he can get that ball right into the running back's breadbasket.
Brister rolls and delivers to Hill, who bobbled it and dropped it. Incomplete. Here's Bubby Brister, who, after high school in Louisiana, signed with Bear Bryant at Alabama, but he chose to play pro baseball instead in the Tigers organization. In fact, he played on one team for the current Pittsburgh Pirates manager, Jimmy Leland. Then he left baseball after a pitch broke his thumb and enrolled first at Tulane, then at Northeast Louisiana, and in fact was 7th in the U.S. in passing stats in his only year as a starter at Northeast Louisiana. Now in his 4th year in the NFL, and Coach Chuck Noll says he's an accurate passer now, makes good decisions. This one is almost picked off, batted down by Kerry Glenn, and it looked like he batted it down all the way. He could have made the interception.
Now look, Tom.
I see why. That's a pretty good batting machine he's got on there.
Well, actually, Kerry Glenn makes a good play. That's not his man, Merrill Hodge, that Bubby Brister's trying to get the play to, but Glenn comes over and makes the play to get his hand up on the ball. I don't see Hodge in the picture, but he was wide open initially on the play.
49-yard field goal attempt by Gary Anderson. 49 has been his longest this year. And that one is short. Anderson misses from 49 yards, and the score remains the Steelers 7 and the Jets nothing. 1:34 left, 3rd quarter.
Used to be if you wanted a keg of beer at your party, you were talking a major hassle. But now there's something better. Party Ball from Coors Extra Gold and Coors Light. You see, instead of this, you get this. Over 5 gallons of brewery fresh beer in a portable plastic container. You just pack it with ice, push in the handy reusable tap, and party with a bunch of your friends. Then recycle the container. So forget the hassle and pick up a Party Ball at your favorite store. Because it's just not a party if you don't have a ball.
Why do you get great service from a MetLife rep? He's got terrific follow-through, answering tough questions. He's fast when it comes to paying claims. He's got lots of drive and power. And he makes neat saves when the going gets rough. It all adds up to advantage. MetLife. Get Met. It pays.
For those with a talent for brightening up the holidays, McDonald's has something special just for you. For a short time, we're serving holiday chicken McNuggets with a festive orange sauce. There are also thick, rich eggnog milkshakes and cool peppermint sundaes. They're just our way of lighting up the season.
Your holiday place
McDonald's.
Come home to the best in college football as Auburn battles Ohio State in the Hall of Fame Bowl. Then fifth-ranked Florida State takes on number 6 Nebraska at the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. And a game that will determine the national championship as number 1 Colorado battles fourth-ranked Notre Dame at the Federal Express Orange Bowl. New Year's Day, the best bowls are on NBC.
New York Jets take over. They have a first down in their own territory, about the 32-yard line. Roger Vick on a first down run to the 35, only 2 or 3 yards. Hinkle and Osofsky on the stop for the Steelers. Well, a full weekend of football coming your way starting Saturday. Special edition of NFL Live at 3:30, followed by the Broncos against the Cardinals. Then on Sunday, doubleheader action coming your way. Many of you will see that AFC Central battle, Houston against Cincinnati from the jungle. And then the doubleheader game, some of you will see the Jets against the Rams, and others will see San Francisco against Buffalo. And, of course, the NFL Live gang on hand. There's a completion to Burkett just short of the first down. And speaking of NFL Live, let's go to Bob Costas now with an update.
Yes, Tom, and an especially flattering photo of that quartet you showed a moment ago. Meanwhile, to more important matters, Seattle has the lead at Cincinnati. Brian Blades latches onto this one from David Craig and covers 60 yards. After trailing 10-0 at one point, the Seahawks have roared back. Lead 17-10 in the third. Back to Tom and Joe.
Thanks, Bob. Here at the Meadowlands, still 7-0 Steelers with time running out in the third quarter. The Steelers scored on their first possession of the game. There have been no points since. O'Brien's pass, Burkett for a first down. 46-yard line of New York. Dwayne Woodruff covered him after a 7-yard gain. As the quarter ticks away, Joe Walton still trying to get their first points of the game. Ken O'Brien now in a quarterback replacing Pat Ryan, who started the game and was injured. That'll be the end of the third quarter from the Meadowlands. The Steelers up 7-0. Well, the New York Jets are a rebuilding team, primarily young. Here are a few of the veterans on the squad. And, Joe, some of those guys may not be back next year.
Well, Dan Alexander definitely announced his retirement. Wesley Walker's got a problem in that Dr. Nicholas, the orthopedic surgeon of the Jets, has recommended to Wesley that he play no more football. So I don't think we're going to see Wesley Walker again.
O'Brien buys some time and then throws an interception. Greg Lloyd picks it off. Then he fumbles the ball, and I believe the Steelers got it back.
Looked like Lake fell on the fumble. Bad pass by O'Brien. Sure, O'Brien got flustered back there, got some pressure, moved around, but boy, when he threw this ball, Lloyd was the only man in the vicinity. See O'Brien shopping around, and he's trying to get it to Epps, but overthrows Epps, and Lloyd makes the play.
Lloyd then fumbles, just drops the ball, and Carnell Lake able to fall on it for Pittsburgh. There's Lloyd with the interception. Greg Lloyd with his third interception of the season. That'll time for the Steeler lead. First down Pittsburgh at the Jet 49-yard line. Steelers up 7-0. Early stages of the fourth quarter. Tim Worley keeps the legs churning and turns out 5 or 6 yards. Well, the Steelers have had an opportunistic defense, second in the NFL with those 37 takeaways. Earlier this year, they recovered their 20th fumble, and that interception is the 17th of the season. Got an injured Steeler on the play, and it gives us time to take a break. We'll be back after a message from your local station. Ken O'Brien of the Jets tossing that interception, and look at the difference between 88 and 89 in the turnover situation for the Jets. Plus 13, best in the AFC a year ago, minus 11 in 1989. The injured Steeler was Tim Worley, who left the game, replaced by Rodney Carter. This is Dwight Stone, and Stone is to the 40-yard line, just short of the first down. Gordon and Radachowski on the stop for the Jets. There's Dwight Stone, who was a running back, switched to wide receiver this season, but still seeing some duty at running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He has a lot of speed, Stone has, probably more speed than any of their backs. He just doesn't have that much experience back there carrying the rock.
Craig Wolfley, 73, is in at a tight end. They just announced him as an eligible receiver. He joins Malarkey and O'Shea on 3rd and 1. Hodge for the first down. Hodge plowing straight ahead, and the Pittsburgh Steelers pick up a first down. 13:29 left in the game, 7-0 Steelers.
Well, Minnesota's turned it up a notch, I see, and Buffalo's come back nicely with New Orleans. Washington, Tom, you see that?
Yeah.
San Diego has a good defense, and Washington's come back after being down 2 touchdowns.
San Diego had that 14-0 lead. First down from the 38 of New York. Brister's going to the air. Pass is complete to Lewis Lips at the 25-yard line. Bobby Humphrey takes him down immediately after the catch, but it's another Steeler first down, and Brister told us he was going to be looking for Lewis Lips today, and he's found him for several big plays.
Yeah, well, Lips doesn't have anyone underneath covering him, and Bobby Humphrey's got his hands full. He has Lips over here man-to-man without any underneath help, and if the timing is even close, as it was on the last play, you're not going to prevent that catch from being made.
Lips said he sets a goal every year of 1,000 yards receiving, and he was on track for that until being blanked in the last 2 games and making up some ground today. That one for 14. Hodge. Knocked out of bounds after a gain of a couple. Kyle Clifton was racing Hodge to the sideline and got a hand to nudge him out of bounds.
Clifton does a good job with the Jets. You don't hear a lot about him unless you're here in New York, but Clifton makes a lot of tackles. He's been the steadiest players they have back there, that linebacking group. Alex Gordon, the linebacker with the Jets, and his 3rd year now hasn't quite panned out the way Clifton has, and the big question mark with their linebackers, of course, is Loggeman, the rookie. No question mark any longer, but Gordon is still a mystery.
Clifton had a great game earlier this year against Buffalo. He had 17 tackles. 2nd and 9, Pittsburgh. Hodge again. Falls inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down for Pittsburgh. This drive set up by the interception. Ken O'Brien was picked off, and the Steelers have advanced it inside the 20. Number 11 is Rick Strom, who is the backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, replacing Todd Blackledge, who is inactive for this game. Strom's development has put him into the backup spot behind Brister. 3rd and 6. Pressure on Brister. He floats it downfield. Touchdown! No, now they say incomplete.
Oh, I don't believe he's ruling that incomplete. The ball came loose, but it came loose and hit Carter in his legs. It didn't hit the ground, I don't believe.
Carter was celebrating. I thought he caught it. He made a diving one-hand grab, and I never saw it hit the ground.
I don't think the ball hit the ground. It did come out of his hand, but it landed on his legs. I don't think the ball ever hit the ground. Brister finding good time. He's avoiding a double safety blitz by the Jets that time. Now let's see if this ball touches the ground. It's going to come loose from his hand, but it's going to hit his leg, I believe. Look here now. Can't tell from that view. That ball sure looks like it's in his midsection.
Well, the Steelers on the sideline are all signaling touchdown. They watch the replay on the big screen here at the stadium. Brister's high-fiving all around. He has no question.
Well, it looks like a catch here. Take another look at it. I know these replays haven't gone the way Pittsburgh would have liked for them to have gone the last couple of weeks. But here's another look. Now, where does this ball go? Oh.
Well, Tommy Roy's got another angle to look at.
But I haven't seen an angle yet that made it conclusive.
That's a catch. He cradled it against his leg, like you said. Don't you think so, Joe?
I didn't see the ball hit the ground on any of those replays, so obviously the official saw something we didn't see, or else he made a bad call.
42-yard Anderson field goal attempt is good. Well, there's going to be open season on striped shirts in Pittsburgh after last week and this week. 10-0 Steelers.
Hey, hustler, I got some more party time tips for you from Extra Gold Draft. First, never party with anything less than the full tilt taste of Extra Gold. Hey, this is 1 cup of beer. Another tip, never shoot pool with a guy that brings his own stick. And never ever shoot with a guy that brings his own table.
Ask for an extra. Go for the full tilt taste.
Nice shot. Thanks.
They predicted a gloomy year for everyone. But they didn't count on Mazda, with cars and trucks engineered to feel just right. Now Mazda is racing toward an all-time sales record, with record-setting deals that can save you up to $1,000 now. So come get a record-setting deal at the Mazda Race to the Record. At your local Mazda dealer now.
If you want to move ahead in any career, ask yourself, can I work with a team? Can I take on a tough job and see it through? You can learn how in the Army, so when you set off on the road to success, you'll already be in the driver's seat.
Where can you find fine quality dress shirts like these? By Premier Shirt Makers. It's the greatest assortment of styles, colors, and patterns we've ever offered. Find them now for only $9.95, only at Sears.
NBC sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right. By Levi's 505 Jeans. And by Extra Gold Draft, the party time beer with a full tilt taste.
Back at the Meadowlands, Chuck Noll's team has taken a 10-0 lead on the Anderson field goal, and here's Anderson now to kick off. Humphrey from the 2. And Humphrey takes it to about the 22, about a 20-yard return of the kickoff. We have the definitive replay now on Carter's catch in the end zone or non-catch.
I don't know how the officials saw this, folks, but now that we get it back, we can see it right here. You see this little ball that's touching the ground right there. Right there, touching the ground, no doubt about it. A good call by the official.
So the official made the correct call. It took us, 10 minutes and several replays to see what the official saw at the moment it happened. A good call by the officials. Pittsburgh settles for the field goal and leads 10-0. O'Brien sacked. Greg Lloyd with the sack, back almost to the 10-yard line.
Well, that's about the 51st to 52nd time that O'Brien or these Jets have been sacked anyway. O'Brien 47th or 8th. You've got to have better pass protection. 95 gets right inside there, and big Mike Haight, number 79, just couldn't stop Lloyd. There you see Lloyd get by 79, Mike Haight of the Jets.
Hector to the 15-yard line. The fans let the coaches know what they think of that play call. Lorenzo Freeman made the tackle, and Johnny Hector didn't gain much. Hector, by the way, about to dethrone Freeman McNeil as the Jets' leading rusher. McNeil had been the leading rusher for the Jets the last 8 seasons, but it's going to be Hector this year.
For the Jets and Joe Walton, that's Joe Walton's offensive coordinator standing beside him, Richie Kotite. They thought with the run they could pick up 7 or 8 yards and have a shorter version for a 3rd down and long, but no good. Now it's 3rd down and 18, and it's tough.
O'Brien. Incomplete, intended for Townsell. Larry Griffin defending for the Steelers. Prokoff is on to punt from deep in his own territory. 9:51 left in the 4th quarter. The Steelers hoping to keep faint playoff hopes alive. All they can do is keep winning, and they lead 10-0. The Jets, meanwhile, trying to add to a 2-game winning streak and not having a good game. Prokoff's punt takes a good bounce. Woodson on the hop is finally corralled and driven out of bounds. Leander Knight made the hit on Woodson to get him out. And the Steelers, protecting a 10-0 lead, will take over when we return to the Meadowlands. Prokop got off a 41-yard kick after fielding a bad snap. And the Steelers will take over the football with a 10-0 lead. Looks cold on the sideline, but believe me, this is better weather than they've seen the last two games. A monsoon rain at Miami and the snow and cold at Three Rivers a week ago. Ken Rose in for the Jets, replacing Radachowski at strong safety on this play as Brister hits Lips. Spins his way to the 41-yard line. Eric McMillan takes him down there. So Lewis Lips, with 20 yards on that reception, after being blanked the last two games, has made 4 catches for 73 yards in this one.
Once again, Bobby Humphrey, 48, doesn't get help inside, even though Humphrey started his back pedal inside. Lips still got in there, and then I'll tell you what, that was a good tackle down there that the free safety made one-on-one that time.
Hodge, tough yardage to the 41-yard gain. Ron Stallworth and Scott Mercereau on that defensive line stacked that one up before it had a chance to develop.
Yeah, they did, but McMillan, the free safety, the Jets made the play, I tell you, on Lips, because Lips was gone the last time.
Mercereau is shaken up as you check some other scores. Scott Mercereau in his third year out of Southern Connecticut. In that Washington game, Lohmiller has kicked 3 field goals.
Mercereau down on the turf, and he's come on strong this year. He's been one of the bright spots in that Jet defensive line.
Mercereau is an avid weightlifter, was second to Tim Cofield in the NFL Strongest Man competition. He's down, and we'll take a break. Scott Mercereau left the field. He's over on the sideline now, number 94, and apparently not seriously injured. Well, right now, the Jets trailing 10-0 in the fourth quarter. And, Joe, as a former Jet player, you have to be somewhat interested in this team. It appears to be a franchise sort of in disarray right now. What's the future for this New York Jet organization?
Well, the Jets have brought that on themselves now. Steve Gutman, the president who's operating the Jets, is a brilliant man, financial man, and those kind of matters, but he's not a football operator. He'll be the first to tell you that. The Jets are going to try and get a general manager. That's the man they need to get in there now. Walton and the Jets have been doing things by committee, and once again, I don't think Walton has done a bad job. When you consider all the things that a head coach has to put up with, not just as players on the field, but the things away from the field, he's done a good job. These Jet players haven't played worth a darn this season. I mean, they can point the finger all they want at the head coach, but it's the guys on the field that need to get the job done, and Walton's offensive and defensive schemes are good.
2nd and 8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, also a rebuilding team, and Brister's going to go for 6. No good. Off the hand of Derek Hill, who drew double coverage. Hasty and Booty with him stride for stride.
Boy, Derek Hill showed some speed that time. I'll tell you, he stretched out for that ball that appeared to be perfectly thrown by Bubby Brister. And watch how Hill just pulls. Well, he can't. Oh, he should have had it. Boy, I don't know whether we're throwing more passes here in professional football these days or not. Surely we are. But we are definitely seeing many more balls dropped than we've ever seen in the past, both by the offense and the defense.
There's Derek Hill, the rookie from Arizona, who is the 4th leading receiver in his rookie year for the Steelers. 3rd and 8 now. Brister in the shotgun. Sends Stone in motion. Pass is complete to Stock. Mark Stock twists his way for a first down inside the 25-yard line, and Brister was decked, lying flat on his back at the 45-yard line. You know, Brister to me, Joe, is a throwback to the old-time quarterbacks, a rock'em sock'em tough guy. But boy, he is flat on his back, and Strom is loosening up on the sideline.
That's Tom Moore along with Coach Noll. Tom Moore's the offensive coordinator. Certainly can't speculate on what happened here, but here's the hit that Bubby appears to get. head. I tell you, the way that head hit the ground, that had to jar him a little bit, and that's what he seems to be holding. Now, when you see him reach for his chin strap like that, that's a pretty good sign to start with, but that was a hard hit. You know, that artificial turf is really, it's almost like cement. You know, you have a little bit of cushion over top, but when Leander Knight, number 20, laid that hit on Bubby Brister, Brister's back hit the ground and the back of his head hit that hard turf.
We have two teams here with losing records, and I don't think we've seen a harder hitting game all year. I mean, there have been some vicious blows delivered.
That's right. Joe Walton and Chuck Knoll both, they teach their teams, hey, you go out there and win. You never get tired of winning. Winning is the most important thing, regardless of what your record is. We're winning for one another. We're winning for the fans and for the organization. You want to win every game. And Coach Knoll says, sure, we still have a remote possibility of making the playoffs. But more importantly, we want to just continue to win.
Pat Ryan took a hit earlier in the game from the Steeler defense and put him out with a possible concussion. Open season on quarterbacks at the Meadowlands today. Rick Strom, in his first year out of Georgia Tech, has played only one NFL play. He got in the last play of the first half against the Oilers last week. Chuck Knoll was joking with us yesterday. He said, well, we can't redshirt him now. He did get that one play last week. But Knoll may have to send his backup onto the field. Ron Blackleyd's there next to Knoll, is the father of Todd Blackleyd, who is inactive today. So the Steelers are down to their final quarterback, Rick Strom, who was just activated from the developmental squad on October 14th when Brister was injured. Brister still, he's conscious, but still is flat on his back.
Well, you watch his head hit that ground this time. That's where they're checking his neck area and his head area. Watch his head hit the back of his head now. Boom! Now, you know, that's a hard lift. God darn, that's hard. And they're going to be very, very careful, certainly. They'll be sitting up now out in the field, Tom, so it appears he's going to be okay.
And that's good news. Brister sitting up. Well, next week, some bonus football for you, Saturday and Sunday here on NBC. It starts Saturday afternoon, 3:30 with NFL Live. Then the Broncos, already the champs in the AFC West, take on the Phoenix Cardinals. Then a full slate on Sunday, doubleheader Sunday here on NBC. Houston at Cincinnati. Many of you will see that game in the AFC Central. New England at Pittsburgh, Miami at Indianapolis. In the doubleheader games, most of you will see Buffalo at San Francisco. Some will see these Jets take on the LA Rams. That's coming next week, and the NFL Live gang will be on there. A grim-looking foursome, if I might say so. I don't know if Costas is listening or not, but not many smiles. Working conditions must be awfully bad over there in the studio. Well, Pat Ryan had a similar experience to Brister's earlier. Here's the hit that put him out of the game.
Oh, Greg Lloyd, number 95, gets a good step or two in there and just gets a square shot on Pat Ryan, and the lights are out, buddy. The party's over for this afternoon.
So Ryan is out of the game. Ken O'Brien replaced him, and Rick Strom now getting his second NFL play right here. Strom is a Pittsburgh native. In fact, he was in the punt, pass, and kick competition as a 9-year-old at Three Rivers Stadium. Does the same thing. He hands off to Merrill Hodge, Troy Benson, and Kyle Clifton on the tackle.
Well, you see, right now, the Jets ought to be bringing everybody. They have a new quarterback in the game. Pittsburgh does. They know that he's going to be careful. Once to get the handle on the ball, the snap, he's going to hand off a couple of plays. The Jets ought to be just busting that line of scrimmage now, bringing everyone up there.
Bubby Brister on the sideline. Meanwhile, the clock ticking away, and the Steelers up 10-0. There's a draw play to Stone. Dwight Stone, the speedster, squirts ahead to the 12-yard line. Kyle Clifton with another tackle for the Jets.
You don't lay back when you've got a new quarterback in the game. You don't play a passive defense. You bring pressure right now. Force the quarterback to change the play at the line of scrimmage. See a bunch of faces up there. Try and throw his timing off a little bit. This last play, the Jet defense just ran a regular defense. You've got to attack a new quarterback that's in the game, especially when he's a youngster.
Steelers have taken it to the Jet 11 where they have a first down. Hodge to the 10, only a yard.
You see, right now, Tom, I don't think Pittsburgh should risk putting the ball in the air. With a 10-0 lead, Gary Anderson is your kicker. I mean, you run as much time off the clock as you can right now. If the Jets get the ball and come back and score, the Steelers still have time to go down and score again. I wouldn't dare risk throwing a pass here if I were the Steelers.
Rodney Carter in the backfield with Hodge on this play, 2nd and 9. There's the clock approaching the 6-minute mark. Strom's first pass overshoots Lewis Lips.
That's ridiculous. I don't believe that call. I mean, why not keep running the clock down? You shut the Jets out so far. Your defense, the Steeler defense, has been sensational. Why stop the clock here with an incomplete pass when the time is the factor now? You want that clock to keep running. Meantime, Pittsburgh goes to the pass. Well, that man right there, Chuck Noll's been around a long time. He doesn't call all the plays, certainly, but he's seen every phase of the game, and I'm surprised, really, that they're putting the ball in the air in this situation.
Well, Noll is known for his conservatism, too, and yet that time they put it up. Strom mishandles the shotgun snap. The ball's still loose. The Jets can't pick it up, and the Steelers are going to get it back. Merrill Hodge hustling down to get the football back for Pittsburgh after there were 4 Jets around it.
Well, Marvin Washington from the Jets 97, the rookie from Idaho, had a chance to pick it up and scoot. There's Coach Hawkins, the Jets defensive coordinator. And it's just one of those things. The ball's bouncing loose. We'll see if number 97 gets in here. Here, he gets up off the ground. Now watch, he'll try and pick the ball up, and he won't be able. Look at that, just bounces through his hands. Now he's gone for a touchdown if he can handle it. Marvin Washington.
So Anderson is on to try a field goal about 45 yards. And the kick is good. Gary Anderson, a 45-yard field goal, his second field goal of the day. And the Pittsburgh Steelers increase their lead. 5:05 left in the game. And now Pittsburgh 13 and the New York Jets nothing.
Yeah, they increased their lead, but they could have done that and been inside of 3 minutes now, Tom, rather than 5 minutes and 5 seconds left in the game.
Well, the New York Jets were last shut out in 1987 at Indianapolis, 6-0. That was a replacement game during the strike. The last non-replacement shutout in 1985, 31-0 at the Raiders. That was 76 games ago. The last time they were shut out at home, the Jets were 17-0 blanked by Seattle back in 1977. That's 208 games or 94 home games ago. Right now, 13-0 Pittsburgh.
And you can bet those Steelers are talking about the Jets and getting a shutout right now. Defenses in the NFL rarely get an opportunity to shut another team out. We don't see many of them, and they're very special to these defensive players.
Gary Anderson will kick. Bouncing kicks taken by Humphrey. Trying to turn the corner. Still on his feet. And then driven out of bounds. David Johnson downfield to make the tackle for Pittsburgh after a 20-yard return. Hope you'll stay with us for great entertainment here tonight on NBC. A special presentation of the fact-based drama about the life of NBA star Isaiah Thomas. That'll be A Mother's Courage, the Mary Thomas story. Then the new NBC comedy Ann Jillian, followed by Sister Kate. And don't miss NBC's Sunday Night at the Movies. George Peppard stars in the world premiere of Man Against the Mob, the Chinatown Murders. That's tonight only on NBC. Bubby Brister has a concussion. He won't return today, but his team leading 13-0. They probably won't need him. O'Brien hits Epps, and Epps is to the 30-yard line short of the first down. Rod Woodson stopping Epps. Woodson told us that cornerback is the hardest position in football to play, and he's still learning it in his third year out of Purdue. And even though he's had a lot of success as a returner, takes more pride in that play at the corner. Gerald Williams jumping offside. And if he was not drawn off, it'll give the Jets a first down.
Gerald loves it right now.
Encroachment, 98 defense. First down.
Yeah, Gerald loves it right now. All these Steelers do. They know the Jets have to pass, so they're just pinning their ears back and coming hard trying to rush the passer. There you see 98 Williams jump offside.
Flag down. Ken O'Brien hits his man across the middle, Greg Werner. No gain on the play. Brian Hinkle covering Werner and stopping him. There is a penalty marker. Offside again against the Steelers.
Now, that was one of the few completions you'll see to a tight end where he doesn't gain any yardage at all. You know, I know Coach Walton likes throwing to those tight ends.
Offside, 78 defense. Still first down.
That was Tim Johnson offside.
I know they like throwing to the tight end, but they need to get a little deeper downfield right now. Allowed a total of 19 points over the last 5 games. You know, that's remarkable defense. That's darn good.
And, of course, the defense pitching a shutout here today so far. 4:23 left. O'Brien's going to try to get some points. All kinds of bumping there with Townsell and Woodruff. And no penalty markers. Those two have been going at it all day.
Well, Townsell won't win any Academy Award for that acting job, I'll tell you that. Woodruff had to be in good position right there, and then Townsell puts on a little act like he's trying to fight back inside here and then goes to the ground. I mean, Woodruff doesn't bother him at all. That was good defensive coverage by Dwayne Woodruff.
Bubby Brister heading to the locker room early after suffering a tough hit that may have caused a concussion. Meanwhile, 4:17, the Jets trailing 13-0. O'Brien running for his life. Too high for Newbert. Well, Newbert's a former basketball player at Nebraska, but he wasn't able to jump high enough to get that one. And of course, when he played basketball, Joe, as we all know, his forte was not scoring, not rebounding, but fouling out of 15 consecutive games.
You know, Newbert's in this game today. He's had the flu all week, and one of the concerns for the Jets is how Newbert would be able to play, or if he would, because they use a 2 and 3 tight end package. So here's a young man out there after suffering the flu all week long and giving him his best. Just couldn't quite come down with that last catch.
3rd and 5. Townsell goes to his knees to make the catch, and it'll be a first down, 9-yard gain. Woodruff covered him, couldn't prevent the catch by Townsell.
Here's where I think they had to stop the clock to move the chains. You know, don't charge a timeout, just stop the clock. We'd get the most exciting football, more of it, that exists in the NFL. Last 2 minutes of each half.
Penalty down. Another diving catch, this one by Werner. Couple of flags on the play. Here's Joe Walton, and Johnny Greer will make the call for us. Against the Walton's Jets. Joe Walton's dad, a Pittsburgh assistant, said he grew up a Steeler fan. He said his dad wanted him to be a dentist. Well, yeah, he said his dad...
Left side of the line. Still first down.
Joe said his father's up there looking down, just laughing now because Joe's in this situation as a head coach, and his daddy always told him, don't mess with coaching, Joe. I said, well, you got it, Joe.
The penalty makes it 1st and 15 for New York. The ball at the Jet 44. Catch made by Newbert. Wrestled backwards by Brian Hinkle. Clock continues to roll. 3.5 left. Mean Joe Green on the sideline looking on as the Jets in the hurry-up offense. Plenty of time for O'Brien there. Newbert again on the reception. Carnell Lake was giving him a little cushion. He caught the ball short of the first down.
Now that's it, Tom. You hit it right on their head. These defensive backs for the Steelers are giving a cushion right now for the receivers, forcing them to catch anything they catch underneath in the short variety.
Inside 3 minutes. O'Brien to Epps, and Epps has a first down at the 37 of the Steelers. Rod Woodson tackles him immediately. 13-0 the count. Pittsburgh in front. New York moving, but only 2:42 left. Bad snap. O'Brien manages to pick it up. Steps up and flips it complete. Newbert able to handle it, and it's to the 33-yard line. Osofsky, the rookie linebacker, with Brian Hinkle tackling Newbert, and At the 2:20 mark, O'Brien spends a timeout. So we've got a timeout. Maybe Bob Costas can tell us why nobody smiles in that NFL Live graphic.
I'll tell you something, Sam Weiss wasn't smiling when fans started throwing things on the field at Riverfront. He headed for the microphone to restore law and order. Listen to this, Tom.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, but get them out of here. You don't let it, Cleveland. You let it get down.
So there. Moments later, Eric Thomas intercepts David Craig, returns it 18 yards for the tying touchdown. They're even at 17. Tom?
Wow, that was some motivational speech, and taking over the microphone, Bobby Knight has nothing on Sam Weiss. That was some statement.
I bet Sam's mail's going to be hot this week from letters from folks back in Cleveland area. Oh, boy. Well, 2:20 left in this half. The Jets are trying to get on the scoreboard if they can with the touchdown here. Certainly they'll try an onside kick, so they do have a chance of only being 13 points behind.
Ken O'Brien. Newbert across the middle. They're giving him that all day, and the Jets are taking advantage of it, but it's not getting any quick points, which is what they need right now. That was for 5 yards.
And they're using up the clock. That's the most important thing.
One play before the warning. O'Brien goes back the other way, and Epps can't get there. O'Brien rolled right through left, incomplete, and we'll have the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes, actually 1:53 left in the game. Time now for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. And our MVP today will be the Pittsburgh defensive unit, right now pitching a shutout and bidding to blank the Jets at home for the first time since 1977. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. The Pittsburgh defense, our Budweiser MVP, Greg Lloyd, if you had to single out one man, has made some big plays for that Steeler defensive unit this afternoon.
Boy, that's right. And Carnell Lake, the strong safety's been all over the field, too. But when you have a shutout working, it's not just one or two guys that's doing the job. It's that entire defense. And that's why we've chosen the whole team defensively as the MVPs, most valuable players.
Well, it's been a hard-hitting Pittsburgh defense today, too. Knocked two players out in the first quarter. Ryan and Toon. And Ken O'Brien, in a relief pitcher role today, has hit 26 of 37 passes, 226 yards. 4th and 1 for the Jets here. And they'll run it to Hector. He's got the first down and more to the 20-yard line. Keith Willis on the tackle for the Steelers, and the Jets right up to the line ready to go. Steeler defense trying to preserve the shutout. O'Brien, intercepted. Dwayne Woodruff with the interception. That is his 3rd of the season and the 33rd of his career. Dwayne Woodruff, in his 10th year out of Louisville, picks off the pass, and it looks like the shutout will go in the books.
I guess so. Coach Walton certainly disappointed, but on the other side of the field, these Steelers are certainly fired up. It doesn't appear that the receiver looks for the ball here early enough. It's a little behind him, and Woodruff's in excellent position to make the play. Boy, we don't see many shutouts. Fine defensive effort today.
And again, the first home shutout against the Jets since 1977, 208 games ago. Dwight Stone as the Steelers will try to kill the clock, and the Jets in that notion with a timeout and 1:27 remaining. The Jets' 2-game winning streak about to come to a halt. Woodruff with the interception. You're looking at a Pittsburgh team still alive possibly for the playoffs, and the Jets, they just want to get those last 2 games over with. 1:27 left. The Jets have 1 timeout remaining. This is a 2nd down play for Pittsburgh. Stone again on the handoff from Strom. Gets to the outside. He doesn't want to go out of bounds, and he flips and stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. Kyle Clifton upended him. Well, the Steelers need to keep winning, and they need some help to get into the playoffs. They'll be 500 with this victory today, and here's what's happening. Kansas City still alive in the playoffs, of course. Cincinnati in a tie game. Houston ahead. Buffalo tied. A lot of things going on in the playoff hunt. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the New York Jets and the National Football League is prohibited. This game, the property of the National Football League, New York Jets and Pittsburgh Steelers, all rights reserved. Thanks to Tommy Roy and J.D. Hansen, Ed Fibashoff in the truck. And up here in the booth, Mike Albert, Frank Sirkowski, Rom Zitkowski, Jim McLaughlin, Chuck Cassidy, and Brian Shepard for their help in today's telecast. Well, the Jets had won 2 in a row, 3 of their last 5. They'll go on the road to face the hot Rams next week, while the Steelers will be at home against New England, hoping to win their last 2 games, have a chance for the playoffs. Hodge tripped up, falls across the 35. Well, we said when we started a telecast today that pro football in some ways is about not giving up. Joe Walton and his squad fighting hard, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, beaten by Cleveland 51-0 in their opening game, outscored 92-10 in their first 2, have a chance to make the playoffs. Yes, pro football is about not giving up. The Steelers about to blank the Jets at home and even their record at 7-7. Rick Strom replacing Bubby Brister, downs it, and that'll be the final play of the game. Well, Joe, what do you think about this Steeler football team?
Well, they lost that heartbreaker last week. I like their enthusiasm, the way they're coming on. They have the nucleus, certainly for a playoff contender this year and next year. So I think folks have to be darn happy with the way Chuck Noll has brought these guys back.
Well, Chuck Noll and his Steelers have shut out the New York Jets. And they did it with a rock-solid defense today. What about the future of the New York Jets? Well, Joe, we'll pose that question to you when we return to the Meadowlands. This game history, the Steelers win it 13-0.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
All right, Tommy, this 13-0, the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Jets at Giant Stadium, the Meadowlands, as the Jets' 2-game winning streak comes to an end, and the Steelers keep alive in the playoffs 13-0. So the Jets will have to go back and regroup once again. The Steelers pitching a shutout. Their defense was the star of the game. So we invite you now to stay tuned for the Budweiser NFL Report with Bob Costas next on NBC. This is Tom Hammond for Joe Namath and our entire NBC crew saying so long from the Meadowlands. The Steelers win.